Ladies and gentlemen, we are on an emergency ARC podcast broadcast. This is episode 7 of the ARC. It's just me today. No special guests are in. Breaking news, it's Sunday. It's 4 p.m. Sydney time, about 7:30 a.m. London time. New York, America is asleep right now. A lot's happened today. If you haven't heard the breaking news and you've been living under a rock, God bless your souls. You're doing the right thing on a Sunday. The President of the United States has been shot, the former President of the United States, Donald Trump, and the presumptive President of the United States, Donald Trump. He's looking like he's about to win. While the Democrat Party is in complete disarray, we're seeing this crazy situation that just broke on Saturday in the USA in the late afternoon, evening. Donald Trump had been shot in the ear and rushed off stage. I'm going to be breaking down everything that I can see what's going on here, but there are live updates going on right now. I don't really see anyone covering it top to bottom, everything that's there right now, especially not from Australia. But I wanted to share this with you guys, especially to a lot of you Brits that are waking up, to a lot of the people in America who I understand if you're not able to sleep tonight because you feel that your democracy is slowly slipping away. But before I get into it, just an outline. I'll be taking you through exactly what happened with the shooting. I'll be taking you through many things that include swearing. If you've got kids that are watching right now, please, be advised. I'm warning you now, there is swearing in this broadcast. Normally there isn't, but there is for this. And as much as possible, I've tried to suppress the violence so that we can broadcast everywhere. But if anything goes down, we're in Australia. We have this stupid e-safety commissar down here, the former Twitter worker. Go and find me on X. The description has my X profile in it. Joel Jammal on X. You can find me there. I'll be live streaming there right now and on Rumble as well. Unfortunately, I warned about this when the bishop was stabbed. The Australian e-safety commissar, she did try banning things across the world with regards to that crime that was committed against the bishop, the violence, under the guise of safety and saving the internet from this content. I need you guys to get over to X. I need you to get over to Rumble because they are not censoring me. So if these go down, if this broadcast goes down on Facebook, on YouTube, on any of the mainstream platforms like Instagram, click the link in the description or in my bio, and I'm on X and I'm on Rumble. Without further ado, I wanted to firstly take you through exactly what's happened from top to bottom, what we know. There are tons of updates coming in live, so bear with me as we go through it, but I have tons of slides here with regards to what's happened, witness accounts, what's going on Twitter. Twitter has been a godsend with Elon Musk basically procuring Twitter and allowing us to actually have X as a space where we can divulge this information. So first things first, Donald Trump, he was shot. There's this astonishing photo that actually captures the bullet sweeping past his ear. This has gone right past his right ear here, and it's actually pierced his right ear and gone past. And this shooter has actually gone on to shoot a couple more people that was there. One member of the House of Representatives, Congress there, his nephew was actually there in the audience, and I do believe he was shot. And also someone in the back stands behind Trump was also shot and has actually died. So 2 people have died. This is technically a mass shooting now with the shooter dying as well as this person in the background. We've got 2 people that have been injured from it. And I'm going to take you through some more details, but that's a closer shot of the bullet, which is an astonishing shot whizzing past Donald Trump's ear at this rally in Pennsylvania. This is a video of it actually happening. Again, there is no violence in this video in particular. I'll give you a heads up as much as possible. But we've got the snipers trained on the back roof there, where you can see Donald Trump's in the front here, and in the background you can see these 2 snipers looking in the general direction of where this sniper actually is. I will show you a map of that in a sec, but this is what I've got.
And that's a little bit old, that shot. That shot's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So if you didn't see that again, what that is essentially these snipers, you can see them react. You can actually see them react exactly when the shots are done, and then they return fire and actually take out this particular sniper. But at least 9 shots were fired in this situation.
That shot's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So Trump drops to the ground, and he forgive me, he ends up on the ground. He's got blood coming out of his ear, and he's down there. The Secret Service basically swarm him. Why they didn't rush him off stage, I don't know. They swarm him. They go to the back. He's right there. He's got his fist raised, and I'm going to play this next video for you where he basically goes on to shout, fight 3 times. Any red-blooded American, if you're not seeing that and you're not like, your heart's not pounding, I don't know what will. One more time. This is exactly what happened. All the Secret Service trying to rush him off stage. You can see he's been clipped on the ear there. An inch, guys. An inch. And America would have been in complete civil war. So he's rushed off stage. He's raising his fist as the Secret Service are trying to get him out of there. These were the snipers. A lot of people speculating, what the hell were these guys waiting for? Why couldn't they see them? Which we're going to get into a little bit more in a sec, basically. But these are the snipers we saw before. There were a couple of them there. This is the perpetrator that was shot and killed by those, I do believe, those snipers surrounded there. So many people in the commentary have been asking the question, what the hell were they doing? And again, they're swearing in this. The whole thing was an effing failure. This is from a trained sniper by DC Drano. He's repeated these comments. The Secret Service got there slowly. The SWAT team got there slowly. And why the hell did they keep him on the stage? They should have been off there in 2 seconds. Yet they stand him up for what? To give the shooter another shot? Because they did, surround him. Look at the old Reagan assassination attempt. He was out of there in 0.2 seconds. Why didn't a drone pick him up? The perpetrator, that is. Why didn't another sniper pick him up? This is effing BS. We cover the Boston Marathon effing better than they cover our own effing president. I'm so BS. He must be very pissed off. If anyone says how great a job the Secret Service SWAT team did, they are full of S. They sucked. They should have been ashamed of themselves and all effing fired. Again, this is probably one of the more graphic things I'm going to show. Naomi Site on Twitter says, someone's lost their life. Donald Trump survived, but the assassination attempt had more than one victim. This is no longer just an attempt. Again, this is technically a mass shooting. 2 people have died, including the perpetrator. And this is in the stands behind Trump. There's a pool of blood. I do believe that person was hit in the head and unfortunately did end up dying. Again, I'm going to be throwing you through some things here that are a little bit out of order, but this is breaking news. You've got to bear with me on this. So there are a number of stories here where I'm going to highlight exactly the rhetoric of the left, of people in the establishment left, and that have been stoking this kind of fear. Nancy Pelosi, days before the rally shooting. Trump must be stopped. He cannot be president. This sort of rhetoric is part and parcel of the left. You have to be, trying to outdo each other. Another person, Laura Lumo, she said, how does someone get in a building unidentified with a rifle and make it to the top of the roof? Secret Service needs to be investigated. This reeks of an inside job. The head of Secret Service must resign. This was not an isolated incident. You can't just get into a Trump rally with a rifle and climb on the roof. A lot of people have made that point. There should be Secret Service in all of these buildings. And this is a map of the situation, guys. So as you can see, we've got Billboard Chris. He's saying Trump was shot from 150 yards away from one of the only rooftops. How can that be allowed to happen? So Trump, the stage being, of course, Trump being there and the shooter being on there. I can see why the snipers didn't see it. But the idea that Secret Service didn't have this place swarming with people to make sure that no one could actually sneak up on the president, get a clear line of sight, is astonishing. Again, I'm not a military guy. Total respect. I defer to that sniper that was talking before, but there does need to be a thorough investigation in terms of this. Guys, if you're listening, give this a share, get it out there. These are the sorts of broadcasts that, the e-safety commissar, I was really worried about, which I'll talk about in a bit more, but give this a share, retweet it. If you can't see me on Twitter, go join my Twitter at Joel Jammal. Going back to the map, this is a more labelled map at exactly what's happened. So feel free to screenshot it. So the Secret Service, of course, Donald Trump being right here in the front, Secret Service snipers, which we saw before, behind him, and the shooter's location over there. Now, as you can see, that is a corrugated steel roof. So that shooter did sneak up onto that ledge in the middle and then shoot across about 420 feet across into Donald Trump's ear. It is a miracle that the man is not dead. It is an absolute miracle, just like with the bishop. I think this is... I honestly woke up to this news. This is astonishing. It was about 9 a.m. Sydney time when it happened. I can't believe what we're seeing here. It's quite surreal. I'm not going to show the photo of the actual person because I want this broadcast to reach as many people as possible, but it's plastered all over X if you want to see it. This is the Trump assassin. We need to find everything about him. Now, that wasn't 15 minutes ago. That was at least 4 hours ago this has come in, and the internet has been just scouring the information to find out who this guy is and everything about him. And here is this person, Lily, not mincing words, the dead shooter there. Elon Musk and a number of people have had mixed reactions. Elon saying, so before being put in charge of protecting the president, she, being the head of the Secret Service, was guarding bags of Cheetos. And this is the director, Kimberly A. Chietl. She's the 27th director of the U.S. Secret Service, sworn into the office September 17th, 2022, responsible for successfully executing the agency's integrated mission of protection and investigations led by a diverse workforce. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Before that, she was basically an administrative personnel that was in charge of managing PepsiCo's security protocols for companies' facilities in North America, hence Elon Musk's criticism of her. We are going to obviously see more information about this as time goes on, but there is some valid questions on this, like many things we've seen in the last year about this. Why is it all these accidents only happen in one direction? And on top of that, the Secret Service have denied RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Secret Service protection. And we're going to get into the Trump team in a second, but just going through this again, bear with me. This is in a really weird order. U.S. Civil Defense News Twitter account saying Trump just started wearing a bulletproof vest. As advised by his security detail, it saved his life. He took a shot to the chest. Again, this is unconfirmed. This is a very grainy image. Take this with a grain of salt. But if that is indeed true, this man would be dead if he didn't actually start wearing that bulletproof vest. He's been clipped on the ear, but if he got a body shot at his age, sure, he's healthy. Who knows what would be happening? This race could be completely have changed. This is what I was alluding to before. This is not a joke. The Australian eSafety Office currently trying to remove all footage of the Trump assassination attempt from the internet. Now, I would not be surprised if this stream is going to get nuked off YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. If you're not on X, Twitter, and Rumble or my Telegram right now, Joel Jammal on all those platforms, one day it's just going to snap and you're not going to see what's going on. This was my worry at the time of when the bishop was stabbed. Now, I haven't said much about the bishop stabbing recently, but can I just tell you something? At the time when the bishop was stabbed and I was covering the news and whatever, I was warning that the intelligence agencies often use Australian intelligence agencies to go after US personnel, private citizens, because the Secret Service don't want to sometimes break US First Amendment laws. We've seen that in many times in the past. My worry with the eSafety commissar, this former Twitter employee that's on the Australian dime, earning hundreds of thousands of dollars. My worry was that there was going to be some sort of October surprise where she would be going after misinformation in America and try and completely use the Australian laws to police the whole world and interfere in the American democracy. Be under no illusion. Australia has an important role to play in this. We have to absolutely abolish this position. This particular person, it's not about safety. It's not about safety. It's about controlling what is said online, what the narrative is, and Elon Musk is running directly contrary to that. Now, if you don't remember, she was trying to censor the footage of Bishop Murray, who was stabbed on the internet on a live stream, of everything. Yet, when it came to all the killings in Palestine and Israel and Ukraine, oh, no worries. Yeah, just let all that footage go out there. That's fine. But the stabbing of the bishop and a clear terrorist attack, oh, no, we've got to sweep that off the internet. This lady and the people at all of these fact-checking organizations and big tech that are trying to censor our speech, they're the enemy of the people. They're trying to censor the narrative in a way that is skewed and denying the truth. They're not on your side, these people. Now, look, they say, oh, it's because, I want to stop, child porn and child trafficking and all of that stuff online. Yeah, that's fine. But you're going and wiping everything you don't agree with off as well. This e-safety commissioner, what my fear is, and what I warned of when the bishop was taken down, was that she would be interfering in America's democracy. And that is exactly what's going on. So I'm calling on all senators, freedom senators in Australia. This is a call on you. Step up to the mark. America, yeah, sure. They have many times interfered in Australia's democracy. But we need to play our part to make sure our government is not interfering in their democracy. I am calling on these freedom senators, Senator Antic, Senator Hanson, Senator Rennick, Senator Ralph Babbitt, Senator Roberts. You guys need to get onto this and abolish this position. It needs to go. Senator Canavan, start a petition, endorse the petition, and abolish this abhorrent position. She was trying to have power over the global free speech so that she could censor what's going on in America, in Australia, to protect the world from what's going on. She is against democracy, and her position needs to be completely removed. She needs to be completely defunded, and we can't have a situation where she is actually in charge of what we're seeing in America. If you can censor the Hunter Biden story as they did in 2022, and take it offline where these intelligence agencies in America did that, and now they're trying to do it through stealth, potentially, via an Australian government. Again, I'm not alleging that that's what's going on, but if she has the power to do that, it needs to be stopped. Thank God Elon Musk actually went after her and, she ended up withdrawing the lawsuit. They ended up losing that scenario. But we have to abolish this because this stuff, it's not home and hosed. We don't have free speech in our constitution. And we need to get sober on this. Now, if you didn't know, behind Donald Trump, there's the stands behind Donald Trump, but then there's on the ground, his family's there, the family of the speakers at that event. Bannon was sitting there with the Trump's lawyer on his right and other family members on his left. He witnessed all of this. And we can see over time what this is going to do with him, what the American establishment is doing to his father. If there's one thing I know, whether it's in my own life losing my father in 2022 or with other people like Dr. Malhotra, who lost his father as well due to the COVID policies and the jab, this is going to be a radicalizing element for him. Maybe not radicalizing as if he's going to be a fascist dictator, but in terms of implanting the message that these people literally want your father dead. This man, I believe, one day is going to go on to do phenomenal things. And some people likening him to an emperor. In this particular photo, you can see what's going on. So how did the news cover this? The bastards. And this is why I do shows like this, by the way, guys. So please give this a share. If you're in a position to donate, please donate. Help us keep the lights on. But this is the sort of reason why I've gone to great expense to build this infrastructure so we can get this across all platforms online. Again, we reach about 600,000 viewers every week, every ARC episode. This is the real CNN headline uneffing real from End Wokeness. Thank you very much for making this screenshot. You can see the main story. It's about what's going on, dozens killed in Israel and what's going on with Hamas. But your own country, CNN, what's going on with your national news network? Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. Babylon B has nothing on this in terms of a parody. This is absolutely disgusting, you know. How else did other mainstream outlets go? And this is from Pbd Podcast. Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president and crowd. I mean, seriously, I think it was Patrick David, he said in a live stream, I don't usually say this language, but he said FCNN, basically. MSNBC, Secret Service, Donald Trump safe after popping sound heard at rally. He's been rushed off stage after gunshot-like sounds. You couldn't make this up. If it was Joe Biden, they would be making it sound like, big hero, he's this and that, a Trump guy. They jump to conclusions, say, Trump guy is basically shot, Joe Biden. MSNBC, the mainstream media over there, they're trash. And that is exactly why alternative media is exploding in America. The New York Times, Trump rushed off stage after chaos at rally. Isn't that the, euphemism of the century? Chaos. What sounded like a gunshot. The Washington Post, it goes on. Trump escorted away after loud noises at Pennsylvania rally. Loud noises. You couldn't make this crap up, guys. Now, this is from the actual Babylon B. They quoted a CNN saying, clumsy Trump hits his head on bullet. Again, CNN didn't say that, but the Babylon B is pretty close to what they said. Another one. Party that called Trump Hitler for 8 years, shocked as someone tries to assassinate him. I mean, what did you expect was going to happen, guys? Who could have seen that coming? The Washington Post, December 20th, 2023. Yes, it's okay to compare Trump to Hitler. Don't let me stop you. From Mike Goodwin. So one of the updates that's come out of all of this is the Trump legal team has basically come out and said, we want all correspondence from the Secret Service, the Department of Home Security, for allegedly denying President Trump additional Secret Service protections. And that is exactly what this reads. This is just today. It goes on to say, in terms of the background, earlier today, President Trump was shot at a rally in Pennsylvania. Sean Davis reports that the former future president details he's been asking for beefed up protection and resources for weeks, just like RFK in a way, for months, RFK, but has been rebuffed time and time again by Biden's Department of Homeland Security. Therefore, pursuant to 5 HSC, we request all communication between the United States Secret Service and any email address ending in HQ Department of Homeland Security.gov relating to the protective detail of former President Donald Trump. All records in the custody of Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, senior official performing the duties of Deputy Secretary Christie, and any other official in the DHS front office pertaining to increased security for the former President Donald Trump. And thirdly, records of all documents in communication from the Office Intelligence and Analysis and the DHS front office or U.S. Secret Service relating to threats against President Trump. The time frame requested for this is from the 1st of January 2024 to July 13th, 2024. Sean Davis. I mean, do you blame them? Do you blame them for asking for this? I mean, the idea that there's an allegation that they didn't give him beefed up security. When was the last time we saw that? RFK Jr. not getting Secret Service protection, despite the fact that many in his family have been either assassinated or assassination attempts, at least 2 of them, former president and his father. On top of that, we've got a situation where before that, in the January 6th, Trump, if you might remember, he requested from Nancy Pelosi that they beef up the national, what do they call it? The national defense, the National Guard be brought into their capital, Washington, D.C. Nancy Pelosi rejected it, despite him saying we should do it. And she's on audio saying maybe we should have brought it in. This is a problem. This is a huge problem. And the people in the media, the people in the Democrat establishment are destroying their own country. And this is what we're seeing going on. This is from Valuetainment from Patrick Bet-David, half an inch away from a possible civil war. I don't think people fully understand the gravity of the situation here. I'm not usually like this. I'm normally happy-go-lucky when it comes to this program. That much, it clipped his ear. That much over, the man would have been dead. The US would have been in complete civil war. The stock market would have crashed. We would have had China make moves on Taiwan. You know, in terms of you at home in Australia, we would have had a terrible situation where, you know, everything would have gotten way more expensive. I mean, with the US stock market crashing and the global economy in turmoil and everything that's going on right now, Donald Trump is the only guy holding back the right in America because he believes in the democratic process, winning a fair vote and articulating his side's concerns. But the left have, with their rhetoric, have driven this on, have led to a toxic environment where now we're looking at the potential of a president being killed that is the presumptive president, because the way he's going, he looks like he's going to win. Again, there is no evidence at this stage from what I've seen that this was a targeted hit from the intelligence agencies or the left. It's not clear. But the rhetoric that we are at right now is unacceptable in America. It needs a healthy dose of what's been going on in other countries. In Australia, for example, it's a lot more tame. But in America, I mean, we were half an inch from civil war. And for Australians, you know, this doesn't not affect you. This changes everything. If the man gets killed, America the greatest country, the greatest economy in the world collapses. Like, Americans on the right and the left, and the reason we have democracy and the rule of law is because if you can't articulate your concerns, if you can't get the message across, then all there is violence left. That's it. And that's the problem. And that's why I get so homicidal when I think about these people at big tech, at the Australian Associated Press, at these fact-checking organizations that are funded by the Open Society Foundation from George Soros, from the mainstream media, not being neutral at all, not even taking a partisan side and sticking to the facts, but twisting the facts. Trump runs from, sound at rally. Trump falls down, Secret Service usher him off the stage. We are driving the country and the world into turmoil. And we've got to pull this plane up. We've got to pull it up. Now, Donald Trump is part of the forces that is trying to articulate the messages of over 80 million Americans. We have to cool this down. If the man dies, the world is going to be thrown into chaos. We all know it. It's bad enough as it is. Moving on. And if you think I'm joking, check this out. Ammo sites are crashing all over the internet. This is particularly in America. Service temporarily unavailable. Customer care at ammo.com. This isn't a joke. The idea that America could be thrust into turmoil and the arms-bearing Americans are like, that's it. That's it. They shot our guy. What's left? What do we do left? That would literally be one of the worst outcomes we could see, because it then gives the permission, if Republicans or Trump-loving people actually get violent and actually these militant groups actually get violent, it would be the blank check that the government in America, the intelligence agencies, would have, and the sitting president that has executive authority to completely bring some kind of martial law in and lockdowns like we haven't seen since 2020 and 2021. That's my fear. Trump is someone, and again, I'm just a young guy in Australia watching this stuff. I'm just a young guy in Australia watching this stuff. But this is what the evidence is showing, and many people go on to say in this, including Steve Bannon and others, which we're going to get to. Elon Musk saying, extreme incompetence, or it was deliberate. Either way, the Secret Service leadership must resign. He's reacting to Jack Posobiec saying, how was a sniper with a full rifle kit allowed to bear crawl onto the closest roof to a presidential nominee? Valid questions. Nigel Farage, close friend of Donald Trump. The mainstream media have spread a narrative of hatred against my friend Donald Trump. I hope they're proud of themselves, disgusting people. Logan Paul and Jake Paul, who aren't really traditionally thought to be right-wing, but they did recently interview him, Logan Paul at least anyway. To survive an assassination attempt by mere millimeters, then stop your security so that you can raise your fist in defiance of death is the most badass thing I've ever seen in my life. I hope everyone's okay. Find the shooter. And then Jake Paul, his brother, saying, if it isn't apparent enough who God wants to win, when you try and kill God's angels and saviors of the world, it just makes them bigger. Good beats evil every time. Hashtag Trump 2024. And Conor McGregor, a 78-year-old multiple millionaire. He should be on a yacht on the Mediterranean tour golf courses. But he is not. He's in Pennsylvania, spitting out bullets, running for the love of his country. Godspeed Donald Trump. God bless the United States. I like that, spitting out bullets. And then we've got the head of El Salvador. You'll like this one, Rami. Nayib Bukele. Democracy? Question mark. Isn't that funny? The president of El Salvador wondering what the hell is going on in America, alluding to the fact that it's a bit of a banana republic. Not what we'd expect from a South American country. But isn't he right? What's going on? The way this establishment's gone. Blair White has made the point. I don't want to hear you, I won't say the word, you gay people mention January 6th ever again. And isn't that interesting? One person died actually at that event due to a shooting there, and it was Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt at January 6th. And compared that to the shooting of a former president, the left have got to check themselves on this. They really do. This particular video is literally just after Donald Trump was shot at the UFC. We have this fellow who just won his fight, and he was asked, and this is what he had to say.
Hey, I heard they just tried to whack my boy Trump. I'm glad that man's okay. Long live Trump. Let's go, baby. Trump 2024.
Denver, let's hear it for Evan Elder.
Crazy. And now, look, I mentioned earlier, who could have seen this coming? Well, apparently, many people could see this coming. Everyone that's watching now, I have no doubt I'm preaching to the converted here, but there's a lot of people, they're just waking up. This is their red pill moment, and this is why this stream is so important, so please give it a share. Tucker Carlson from NBC News. This is on the 1st of September last year. Tucker Carlson stokes conspiracy claims the US is speeding towards assassination of Trump. The comments presented without evidence have been picked up by other media personalities on the far right, including conspiracy theorist Alex Jones and former Fox News host Dan Bongino. I mean, seriously, you couldn't make this crap up with regards to them. This from Steve Bannon in June this year, only a month, not even a month ago, before he went into jail. In a Guardian interview in June, Steve Bannon, a Trump advisor and former White House chief strategist, spoke of his concern that Republican nominee would be assassinated before the election in November. It's my number one fear, Bannon said, speaking before he began a 4-month prison sentence for defying a congressional subpoena. Assassination has to be at the top of the list, and I believe that the woman that's running the Secret Service part is not doing her job. Isn't that astonishing? I didn't know he said that at the time, but a lot of this is coming to the surface now. Now, in terms of the left's rhetoric, what did that look like? This from a BBC presenter on the 1st of July. If I was Biden, I'd hurry up and have Trump murdered on the basis that he's a threat to America's security. #SCOTUS. Now that BBC journalist ended up removing that and deleting that the day after. But this has become part and parcel of what the left does. If a guy on the right said that about Biden, his life would be cancelled, his life potentially would be ended. Now, news has come out that the reported this gunman in Pennsylvania, and this is from the Australian newspaper, is Thomas Matthew Crooks. And as time goes on, we're getting more and more information, which I'm going to go over to Twitter in a second and have a look at. But this particular person has been reported from Secret Service that about almost 300 meters from Donald Trump took a shot at Donald Trump and shot many others. This is from the Times. BBC presenter deletes tweet urging Biden to kill Trump. That's David Aronwich, who I showed you before. This is from news.com. Jim Chalmers interview interrupted by Trump fall. Can you believe that? News.com. I can't tell you how many hit pieces News.com did on me, especially when I spoke at Town Hall steps during the lockdowns in 2021. These bastards, it's tough not to swear on this. I'll leave the swearing to other people in these videos. But these people have basically, they're watering this down because they know this means Trump wins. If he lives till November, they know this is a winning position to be in. Water it down, water it down. Donald Trump, after all this, put a written statement out, if you haven't seen it already, on Truth Social. I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all the law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through my skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. All I've got to say about that is thank God. Thank God. Because just like with the bishop, when he put his cross up and basically retracted that knife that came out from that young man who stabbed him in the eye, he would be dead because many of those hits were in his neck. But by that point, the cross had actually hit that knife and it went in, folded in onto that young man's fingers. But Trump, he turned at the last moment to his right, and that really did save his life. And I'll show a graphic in a second about that. That's Trump leaving the stage. Again, this is all jumbled, guys. This is all jumbled, but this is the stuff that I'm seeing. News often comes very jumbled like this. Defiant, raising his fist in the air, saying, "Fight, fight, fight," and the crowd cheering him on. Obviously, the internet always wins. You got Trump versus a bullet, and he's defiant. And you got Biden versus stairs, and he can't get up, basically. The internet always wins, guys. Got another meme of the supposed shooter with his patchy beard trying to shoot Trump, and Trump basically doing the matrix dodging of the bullets. Again, love the internet. Out of a tragedy, they can make you laugh, can't they? And this is another meme. This is of Jesus behind Trump, basically turning Trump, and at this last moment before it happened, which is quite an astonishing photo. And be under no illusions, if you're not a person of faith, you will be very quickly in the politics game, because it's not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted. And if it wasn't for God watching Trump's back, I don't think he'd be here. That's my honest opinion. Now, I want to go over to what Twitter is showing, because there's a lot of live news updates which are coming through. And if we look at what's in particular on here, there's some great analysis in this particular what's going on. This is from Pbd. He made the point that he actually put quite a detailed analysis here, which I thought I'd read a few points from. To those saying the election is over and Trump will win by a landslide, you're being naive. Here's my concern. He must first stay alive in order to win. There's a potential leak in the Secret Service and protection of the president. Too many blind spots. There needs to be better systems of protection. One bystander said he saw a shooter climbing up on top of the building. He told Secret Service and police, but they didn't react for several minutes. A PMC needs to be hired to protect the president. Someone like an Eric Prince from Blackwater, private military contactor. I think he's interviewed Eric Prince before. Very interesting guy. Stage and AV security team needs to be upgraded. I understand for optics not wanting to put bulletproof glass in front of a president when he speaks. There's no way, if I'm running stage security and AV, a shooter should have any chance of getting an angle from the side or the back. The biggest stage and AV companies in America who support high-risk targets, political leaders, need to reach out to offer strategies. This is insane. Number 4, the Republican National Committee needs to double down on end-to-end security in Milwaukee. Multiple bomb squad teams need to inspect the area. A redundant inspection to inspect the inspectors for any possible blind spots. RNC is only a few days away from QCing those who QC on steroids. An immediate tweet, text, and email needs to go to the entire base to raise money. People need to know how to support. Money, volunteer, expertise, protection. The future looks bright, but only the paranoid survives, as Pbd always says. And he's absolutely right. I mean, this is a huge moment for America. I mean, I think America will be waking up again very soon on the East Coast to the whole analysis of this, if any of them got any sleep. And the idea that this has happened is nuts. Now, I did want to play this video, which I think you'll appreciate. This is from Cauldron Pools retweeted this out. And it basically shows you exactly what the left have been talking about, what their rhetoric is like. If you're in any doubt at all about what these people have been saying, this is a phenomenal video which shows that exactly.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome. anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Take a look at what happened.
Dear God. Terrible. 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 Absolutely terrible. Well done, Cauldron Pool. Well done, Cauldron Pool. If you haven't seen them before, guys, definitely go give them a follow. They're an Aussie group, phenomenal articles. Now, this video has swearing in it, but I did want to play it for you. Andrew Tate, big fan of him. He's a phenomenal guy. I probably got on him relatively late just by virtue of the fact I hadn't seen his stuff. But this is a guy where a similar thing has sort of happened. Now, he's got a phenomenal security team. Phenomenal security team. It's not public sector. They have tried to come after him. They've tried to come after him with fake accusations, character assassination, lawfare, which he's winning. And he says, look, the last one, if they don't get you with those first two things, the last one is they have to kill you. And this is exactly why he's swearing in this particular video, because I've seen him say this many times, and he's bang on the money. It's exactly what happens, and this is a warning to this is a warning to anyone that gets into politics. And this is the problem. Politics isn't for the faint-hearted. When I put my face on camera, it's nowhere near compared to the risk of these other people I'm showing you on here, but the risk isn't zero. And that's the problem. That is the problem with politics today. It requires incredible intestinal fortitude, and I'm just grateful that people like Donald Trump and Nigel Farage, who's been milkshaked many times and violence has been done against him, I'm just grateful these people are stepping up. Here's another one. So this is the video from Andrew Tate.
There aren't uprisings
reacting
all over the
to
country.
this.
Maybe there
Sorry,
will
just give me a sec.
be.
People.
Twitter being Twitter. Here we go.
I was going viral on the fucking internet, telling all of you. I said they try and cancel you. If cancellation fails, they try and put you in jail. And if that fails, they fucking kill you. I was saying this last year. I was saying it after I rejected their fucking money. I rejected their money to sell my soul, and I started saying on every podcast, they're gonna hit me with a bullshit case. They're gonna try and put me in jail. And when I got out of jail, I said on every podcast, I'm uncomfortable because I know I'm on my last fucking life. Look what they've done to Trump. Look at it. They canceled him. They deleted him from everything. Nobody cared. It didn't work. They tried to put him in jail. That's failed. Now they killed him. You get 3 lives against these people. The second you've been canceled, next is a fucking case. And if you beat that case, they're going to put a bullet in you. It happens every fucking time. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. You better pray for Donald Trump because he is fighting evil. You do not want the people who are against Trump in charge of anything, especially not your fucking life. I don't care what you call yourself, Democrat, Republican, no matter what it is. You need to pray for Donald Trump and pray for him right now. He's the last fucking hope for Western civilization as you know it. I promise you that.
Guys, I've just done, as I've been watching those videos, just so you know, I have a following of 350,000 followers. Now, Twitter only makes up about 3% of that following. I have over 500 people watching live on Twitter right now, whereas on all the other platforms, there's less than that. And by the way, we're streaming on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. All those followers there. That's how censored I am. I need to get you guys onto X, onto Rumble. Click the link in the description. If you're in a position to share it, please give it a share. If you're in a position to donate, please do donate. It helps keep the lights on. But go onto X. If you're watching now on X, over 500 of you, give this a reshare, give this a retweet, get it out there. Because this is exactly why the e-safety commissioner hates Twitter and went after Twitter. God bless Elon Musk for what he's doing, and God bless the head of Twitter for what he's doing. I've got plenty more coming here. Here's another video. I'm just going through stuff that we haven't seen yet. So this, again, guys, there is swearing in this, but as that's the nature of this broadcast, it is breaking news. I haven't had a chance to censor a lot of this, but this is from a bloke in America that's basically saying, look, don't F with my president. He's my president, you know? This is America, damn it.
Now I'm just gonna tell you motherfucking niggas.
Sorry, guys, give me a sec.
You motherfucking niggas straight out the dump. Don't fuck with my motherfucking president. Do you understand me? Nigga, we ride with Donald Trump over here, nigga. Draco, we ain't playing with you motherfucking niggas. You understand me? Keep my motherfucking president name out your mouth. Fuck, nigga.
Now, why did I play that, especially when the guy's dropping F-bombs? It's because I need you to understand the sentiment in America. This isn't Australia, all right? And this isn't the UK. This place, behind every blade of grass, there is a gun. In the black community, in the white community, the Hispanic community. I mean, this place is armed to the teeth. And balance is a delicate thing. Peace is a delicate balance, per se. And in America, Donald Trump getting killed would just trigger an insane amount of instability in everything. I'm cheering him on. I hope he does well. I hope he stays alive. For the love of God, I hope he stays alive. But peace is a very delicate balance. The idea that they could have taken him out by an inch, that inch is the Civil War, as Patrick Bet-David was saying. That inch is the global economy collapsing. That inch is war breaking out around the world, an open slather. That inch is the civil war that would give the intelligence agencies and defense apparatus in America permission to go after all these MAGA people. Because who knows what these MAGA people are going to do? Who knows? Their guy's just been shot. If that was an inch over and he died, who knows? The largest militia would have, who knows what they would have done? If you don't have a means by which to exercise your beliefs peacefully, all that is left is violence. Everyone should be defending Donald Trump and everyone should be defending Joe Biden. You cannot have your political guy getting killed. You need to protect him physically. You need them to lose fair and square. That is the importance of democracy and a free ballot. In Australia, we have our vote. It's not perfect, but it's far better than America's. But the idea that Anthony Albanese or Peter Dutton would be shot, it's not even in our lexicon. America needs to tone this down. I mean, this is insane. I don't have it here, but it's good to know that obviously Obama, he came out and he condemned it as he should. I think it was an hour before Joe Biden saying it. Joe Biden was very slow on this. But it was good to see that they toned it down. This is from Vincent Osana. He's one of the co-hosts on Patrick Bet-David's Valuetainment show. He said, this hits way harder after today. And this is one of Donald Trump's campaign ads.
Many men wish death upon me. Blood in my...
All right, I'm going to stop that because I just realized that you can't play music on certain platforms and you get demonetized. So I'm going to pass on. I thought that was actually a different video. But moving on, what else there is, this is the video of Tucker Carlson talking about Donald Trump being assassinated. I thought that you guys might want to see this very interestingly.
They called him names. He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times. And every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work, what's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have it. They called him names.
Anyway.
He won anyway. They impeached him.
I'm just monitoring what else is going on at this time, guys. So this is Rep. Ronnie Jackson. Says that his nephew was shot during the assassination attempt on Trump.
And they heard the shots, and everybody jumped.
So he organized for him to be there.
Yes, Sean. So my nephew was at the event tonight, and they were in the friends and family pen, and they heard the shots, and everybody dropped to the ground. And I don't know if you guys have the picture or not, but he was grazed in the neck. A bullet crossed his neck, cut his neck, and he was bleeding.
This is your
he got up.
Congressman, this is your nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my nephew. They were there. I'd set them up. They went to the rally. They were in the Friends and Family pen, which was just to the president's right, down a little bit lower on the left on the screen, but to the president's right in the line of fire. And they heard shots coming in. Apparently, there was someone also that were 4 or 5 rows behind them that was critically injured. Whenever he was shot, they realized that a bullet had grazed his neck. My sister-in-law had encouraged him to go to the first aid tent, to the triage tent. They went to the triage tent, and when they got to the triage tent, while they were there, there was another member of the crowd, unfortunately, that was in the triage tent that was on a gurney in the tent that had a devastating wound, had a critical wound to the head that was dead.
Crazy. I'm trying to monitor what's going on right now, guys. Just more information slowly coming out about this shooter, but I don't want to get it wrong. As we saw in Sydney with that stabbing in Bondi Junction, where I actually used to work in 2019, there was a wrongly accused Jewish man that actually ended up getting accused of the stabbing there, and it wasn't true. And he ended up getting, I do believe, a settlement with the channel that put it out. So I do want to be very careful about what comes out here and sticking to what we actually have receipts for and it's been authenticated. But here is another video of an American that was actually at the rally as well, and he's explaining what he saw.
Just take me back. What were you doing before the shooting happened, and then what did you see and hear?
I was just hanging, standing there like everybody else, waiting for Trump. And as Trump started, I noticed 2 officers that were looking for something or somebody. I was looking around myself and seeing a guy on top of one of the buildings go in between one building to the next, and went and told the officer that he was up there. And when I went back to my spot, I heard that people could still see the person from where they were standing. So I checked that out, and I went back to tell the officer that if he came over there, he could see them. And when I turned my back is when the shots started, and then it took me a second or two to figure out exactly what it was. And then it was just getting out of there and helping some other person out with her child, and we got out, and that was the end of that. And I went and left, and that was all.
What else have we got here? The crowd spotted the shooter before the Secret Service did. Footage shows witnesses scream. A man has a gun before rapid fire happening. Let's just quickly watch that.
And you know, that's a little bit... He's going down!
Wow.
Stay under here.
Wow.
And you know, that's a little bit... He's going down!
That's astonishing. Can you believe that?
Stay under here.
Can you believe that? Bring it up.
He's going down!
That is astonishing, my friends.
Stay under here. And you know, that's a little bit... He's going down!
That is astonishing. How did the crowd spot that before what was going on? That's insane. That is insane. I cannot believe how slow they were. That's, again, I'm not a military guy. I defer to the people that, people like Dan Bongino that actually was on Secret Service and others. But that, to me, is shocking. The idea that the people there could see it. I'm trying to find another interview where that happened, but there's a lot of people that have been picking holes in the Secret Service. This is from the Hodge twins. They say President Trump needs men or that girl from Tomb Raider guarding him, not these DEI hires who don't know what the hell they're doing. And it's an interesting point, as you can see here, because I have some information on that. Now, look, I don't want to, this isn't my area. I feel uncomfortable actually criticizing exactly, women as a whole. You can't have women on Secret Service. I'm not saying that. But I think you do have to do you just got to hire the best people. I mean, it's as simple as that. And I don't know who that is. I don't know what tests they do. But the idea that they didn't rush him off stage as quickly as they did, I don't care if it was a man or a woman, it should have been quicker. Now, many people have been very frustrated that that didn't actually hit Trump. Shockingly. This is a video, again, they're swearing in this, so if you've got kids watching, be careful. So this is a compilation of people celebrating Trump's assassination attempt. And I'm just going to play it now. I do believe this is from Libs of TikTok, a great account you should definitely follow. Check them out.
John Wilkes Booth, if you can hear us, if you are with us, please, John Wilkes Booth, if you're listening, please.
Let me get this straight, dumbass! You have a fully reloaded shotgun, but you chose to use a one-bullet...
We're not even sending our best to fucking assassinate. Cause what the hell was that? Lee Harvey Oswald would never, bitch! John Wilkes Booth would never!
Today was like this close to being the best day ever.
Also, the person that at Trump at his rally was exercising that right that all of those Republicans were fighting for. So, can you really blame him?
John Wilkes Booth.
Oh my God! I honestly, what is going on with America, man? I mean, seriously, these people. I've got another video of that later, but normies are just. I love this meme. Normies are just realizing what we're up against, and this is why I do what I do, guys. Because I'm trying to wake up as many people as possible. But this is exactly what's going on. And it is going to get worse. It is going to get worse. We're just getting started. We're still 4 months out from this election. The Democrats haven't even had their primary yet. Things are going to get absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I've got a few more videos here. This is footage of Donald Trump's shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, opening fire and then getting killed seconds later, which surfaces.
I hope he's turning this way. Be careful, guys.
What are you doing?
You get the point. Absolute chaos. Absolute chaos after. People crying out to their family to come over here. Someone called Ross, apparently. Strayed too far. This is President Trump arriving to New Jersey on Trump Force One. This from Nick's Soto. The man's an absolute warrior, he says. And this is Trump getting off. So he is fine. He's walking. He can walk without, help going downstairs on a plane, which is good. Challenged Joe Biden to do that after being shot at. Hope he never gets shot, obviously. Okay, this is the interview of the guy. And this is very important. I believe this is potentially one of the guys that was actually screaming in that video. He's got a gun. He did try to alert officials, and I think it's worth listening and encapsulating and archiving exactly this. And that is partly why I'm going through this stream, so you can see everything that I'm seeing as it's happening before it's swept off the internet on especially the mainstream platforms. God bless Elon. God bless this platform. This is what this guy was saying.
Someone who was here, you weren't inside the event, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the brink
Miracles Farm and Greenhouse here. We had a party. And we all decided, hey, you know, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees out there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here, I have no idea, you know, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle, absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service. Who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
No, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. I mean, we saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. No, I mean, it was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it, but
sure. But
it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely. So,
Crazy stuff. I got some more stuff here, guys. So in terms of the news being as vile as they are, it's not just American news. It's also Aussie news. It's also New Zealand news. Check this video out. I've barely had a chance to watch it. This was picked up on, I do believe, by Chris Scoveries, good friend of the show. He's appeared on this many times in a couple of episodes. New Zealand TV shot a Trump doll with a toy pellet gun on air laughing. This is fun, passing around the gun. The host encourages viewers to get themselves a little Donald Trump doll and go hard. Check this out. I hope, give this a share, give this a retweet, because I don't want this video to actually get buried. All right? These people need to be named and shamed. Check this out.
This is great. Okay, Donald Trump's here. So let's say Donald Trump.
It doesn't hurt.
Put him down there. Does it have like a laser?
I'm not sure it's actually that far.
I feel like there needs to be a laser on this thing. Or do you,
well, okay. This is.
Oh! Hey! That was huge. I can't believe it. Wow. We gotta get rid of these guys. They're coming into our country.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Okay,
so
one more shot, and then
fun this could potentially be.
And then we're putting the bug of salt away.
This is fun. But I shouldn't have.
There you go. Who thought you'd be the dad?
Sprayed my house. Use
There's a lot. It's quite salty already.
Yeah.
Riveting television.
Good. Oh, yeah, I can't do the pump action.
Well, you got it.
Go.
You have a go. But it'd be quite good for dinner parties, wouldn't it? I need a bit of salt on that. Bang! Yeah.
Yeah. See, look. Here you go.
Plenty of salt there, isn't
it? Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing, right? Is the cleanup afterwards.
The salt everywhere. Yeah.
But it does the trick. if you
I'm not looking at.
work on your target practice, obviously. So
Yeah.
get a little doll, a little Donald Trump doll.
Yeah.
And go hard. Just don't shoot other people.
No.
Terrible. Honestly, not even a joke. I mean, imagine I did that. Imagine I did that. I have the terror squad on me, overnight. Imagine I had a Donald Trump little thing there or a Joe Biden thing there, and I started shooting Joe Biden with this salt pepper thing. I'd never do that. I mean, these are the professionals. These are the professionals. I'm just a pleb from the construction site. These professionals, these ruling class out there that want to speak to you about what you should put in your body during COVID. This is what they think of Donald Trump and the elected representative that's out there. I'm not sure if I'll show this. This is supposedly Thomas Matthew Cook's graduating because we don't yet know exactly who this person is. There's a number of people with that name, and I've seen a lot of people get it wrong already in this event and previous. But just looking at this, a few more memes on the event. This one's like for those Xbox people out there that miss the good old Xbox days. Achievement unlocked, survived assassination attempt, Donald Trump. And this is that photo that we've got just here. Donald Trump, I miss Xbox. Xbox, the good old days. Okay, we've got Mario basically saying who the person was. We've got... Sorry, give me a sec, guys. Again, this is messy. The show is normally smoother and more orderly, but because this is so fast-moving, this is what I found. This is another person from Libs of TikTok losing it, absolutely losing it, and over the fact that they missed Donald Trump.
I just found out about this shit. It just happened. I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew, and he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed! There was a white man attached to that trigger. I know it! We were a centimeter away!
Can you believe that? I mean, seriously, absolute clown of a thing. Anyway, it goes on. Donald Trump Jr. said, someone attempted to assassinate my father tonight, and this is what CNN is focused on. These people are vile. Terrible. What did CNN say? CNN's Jamie, fight, fight, fight after someone tried to murder him.
I think what we're hearing from people is that's not the message that we want to be sending right now. We want to tamp it down.
Terrible.
Yeah, I would just know.
Oh, terrible. I mean, I thought this was interesting from Cenk Uygur. I don't usually agree with the guy, but he's right on this. He said, props to the Trump fans who spotted the guy before the shooting and tried to get someone to do something about it before the shots. They might have even saved his life because the shooter might have rushed his shot. Even if he was 2 inches less accurate, it might have saved Trump. It's true. New York Post, a excellent news group. They are the ones that broke the story about Hunter Biden and the laptop. Bloodied but unbowed. Ex-president survives assassination bid. Trump shot. And him standing there defiant with the American flag. Another meme. Biden after the debate. Trump after getting shot. Isn't that true? And a little slice of history. On March 30th, 1981, President Reagan was shot and wounded by John Hinckley Jr. in Washington, D.C. Reagan won a landslide victory in the subsequent November election, carrying 525 electoral votes. And that was in March. That was much earlier. It's as if it was March this year. And he won a 49-state landslide and 58.8% of the popular vote, which is unheard of for a Republican. It was the last time a U.S. president or presidential candidate was injured in an assassination attempt until the attempted assassination of Trump. Could the same thing happen this November election? And it's interesting, isn't it? History doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. It certainly rhymes. Sorry, give me a sec, guys. There's the photo. And that was the 59-state landslide, where the only state that didn't go over was not Michigan. Is that Minnesota? Oh, Mondale? Mondale, I think it is. No, Mondale's the candidate. That's in Minnesota. I might have some Americans getting annoyed with me saying I don't know the states. Some of you guys don't even think Australia's a country. Moving on to this again. This person said, again, if you're just tuning in and you haven't seen anything from this, I am going to play this. It is what this person said, one of the best quality videos I've seen of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump from start to finish. Check this out.
See something that said, take a look at what happened.
Shocking. Oh, I wonder what that was. Weird. Secret Service rushing him. Getting him out of there. Oh, he's still on the stage. Can you believe that? He's still on the stage. And as rightly pointed out with Reagan, they got him off the stage within 2 seconds. Sort of cocooning him. Getting him off stage, getting him out of there. Driving him off. Retweet this, guys. Get it out there. This is exactly what the e-safety commissioner doesn't want to see. She'll be like, oh, it's too much violence. Just like the Bishop stabbing attack. Too much violence. Therefore, Americans shouldn't see what's going on. I alluded before to this, a lot of criticism about the diversity, equity, and inclusion infecting the Secret Service. I think you're going to find this very interesting because it actually goes into what's going on with the Secret Service there.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030 and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carey to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
That workforce will be pivotal for the 2024 campaign season, which for the first time includes a former president who already has lifetime protection. Agents were there when Donald Trump was arraigned in New York.
We were able to work out the details ahead of time of how that particular day was going to go, but we will always ensure the safety of all of our protectees that we have.
The service has a zero-fail mission, a mission officers are training to uphold, pretending this field is the most famous.
All right, why the hell would they have a diversity hire rate of 30%?
Hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030.
Why? Can you tell me why? Rami.
I have no idea.
30% women. Why? It's like, get the job done. If you can get the job done, I don't care if it's 100% women if they beat the men, but it's not about that. It's about competency here. All right, this from Bill Maher. He says, the opening of my comedy show last night, a few hours after the shooting, if anyone wants to know my thoughts. This is 3 minutes, so I may not play the whole thing, but I have no idea what he's going to say. But here we go. There might be swearing.
Well, unequivocally denounced. I don't care what you think about that. Fucking horrible. Not funny. I'm sure there will be jokes that people will make because they hate him so much about they wish it went the other way. Not for me. Not for me. Not funny in any dimension. And whoever did this, whoever was the shooter, has done so much damage to the left. Lost a lot of moral high ground. And you're the violent people. You know, liberals don't shoot people. Liberals don't solve it that way. Or even suggest. And when I say moral high ground, I just read this on my show last night, the 2025 project, that is the sort of the plank of the Republican Party, which starts their convention tomorrow in Milwaukee. I will be there to go to the strip clubs and see who's there. But the guy who wrote that, he said, this is our new plank. He said, this is new revolution for America, which I've heard 1,000 times from Gingrich on forward. Everybody has a new revolution for America. But they don't always say what this guy said, which he added, it'll be bloodless as long as the liberals let it happen. Okay, that's not cool either. This shit has got to stop because none of this violence happens in a vacuum. It's never in a vacuum. But I'm glad he's okay. Trump, I gotta say this, the luckiest motherfucker that has ever walked.
Cheers to Trump tonight. Speedy recovery.
And again, I'm happy he's okay. But I mean, 2016, that is going to be the luckiest. He lost the popular vote by a lot. He just pulled it inside straight. Everything happened within his way. The Democratic turmoil that's going on in the party right now, with Joe Biden being his opponent, always lucky, lucky, lucky. And when I saw that photo today of him with the blood streaming down his face, I don't want to say the election is over, but, because anything can happen in an election, but Jesus Christ, I mean, yes, MAGA Nation finally has its full marker. They loved it when he went to jail. The mugshot, I gotta say, he's insane and he's a criminal, but that mugshot fucking nailed it. Perfect. And he played this scene like he rehearsed it. Take one with no, and there will be idiot conspiracy theorists, idiots, who will say, oh yeah, they planned this, like, right, he's gonna cut it all off, that guy could be that, but he gets grazed and the other guy gets shot. It's so Trump.
Crazy.
But this is going to work for him. I can see the memes now. The man the little George couldn't kill. Biden can't get through a debate and a bullet can't stop Donald Trump. You know, I mean, it almost doesn't matter who the Democrats put up now. So, look, today was traumatic. It should be. We should feel that. It's a horrible thing, but I'm not going to let it ruin the show. You sound like you are.
Yeah, good on Bill. Good on Bill. I think it's crazy. You know, just so you know, America has just gone to sleep and they're going to be up relatively soon. I'm thinking the next few hours. But the UK is just waking up to this right now. And they are freaking out. They are like, what the hell am I waking up to? And they're just getting this fire hose of news. If you are, then go back and listen to this stream from the start. Paul Joseph Watson, big fan of his, waking up and saying, holy S word. Because it's a lot to take in, but this is what you can expect when it's an election year. It's exactly what you can expect. Also, in terms of a historical moment, On the left is President Teddy Roosevelt after getting shot in 1912. This is from Jake Shields. On the right is President Donald Trump after getting shot in 2024. Same energy. And yeah, I mean, what's going on in America? They're all getting behind it.
Trump supporter. I want to thank God for saving President Trump's life. America needs President Trump. And in a crisis as we saw today, President Trump showed leadership and love of country. President Trump is going to become our next president, but he needs our support. He needs for us, Americans who love this country, to stay focused on the prize, to win in November, to make America great. Our prayers are with President Trump, not revenge, but victory in November. God bless you, President Trump. God bless your family. I will do everything personally to get you elected in November 2024.
If you guys haven't seen, if you're just tuning in now, please give this a retweet. I'm going to go back to the start about some of the early analysis we looked at, because many of you are waking up and thinking, what the hell just happened? But there's over 1,000 people listening live right now on X. Thank you, Elon Musk, because compared to all the other platforms, again, X only makes 3%, but I think maybe 1% of my following. Out of all the other platforms, X is like tenfold all the other ones combined. That's how much censorship I've got right now. Again, I don't have no following. I've got 350,000 followers on all these other social media platforms. But for some reason, in Australia, they insist on censoring the truth. And this is exactly why I warned when Bishop Maramari was stabbed in Sydney, and a friend of the show, he is a man that was attacked, and it was a terrorist attack on him. The e-safety commissioner, the commissar, trying to censor the news online. I was worried that if there was violence in America, this Australian e-safety commissar would be able to go around the US free speech constitution and actually interfere in the American democracy. God bless Elon Musk for taking her to court and winning that situation, because we can't have a situation where one country can dictate what the online free speech is around the world. That goes for Australia to the world, but that goes to America to the world. A lot of these problems with censorship are coming out of America, but the least Australia can do and our freedom politicians and senators can do here, we've got to abolish this. This e-safety commissar, she's got to go. We can't have a situation where we have her dictating what Americans can and can't see during their elections. It's completely wrong. It's completely wrong. Here's another video, and this is from the left. This is from Carl Benjamin in the UK, phenomenal YouTuber. He made the point that Joe Cox's husband is blaming Trump. Joe Cox, if you didn't know, she was an MP in the UK that was actually killed. It was a political violence where that happened. And her husband's basically victim blaming Trump, which is quite an astonishing thing to say, considering the context.
While, of course, and we're talking about this, politicians are often the victims of this. They're the first victims of it. There's also, of course, politicians who are ramping this up, who are building a narrative of them and us, who are building outside groups and inside groups, who are building a politics where violence does become more likely. As I talked about this morning in the context of Donald Trump, let's be 100% clear that the attack on him was outrageous, completely unacceptable, and there is zero justification for it. But let's also be very clear that he has consistently incited and inflamed political violence himself, whether that's the January attacks on the Capitol or his wider demeanour towards protesters in the audience. He has sullied our politics. So yes, I feel sympathy. I feel pain for the fear that his family must have felt at that moment. And I feel real fear for the American political system. And that attack was clearly and utterly wrong. But he also has some culpability in creating an environment where violence is more likely.
Shock. I can't believe he's, honestly, I've played some of this stuff, the libs of TikTok reacting, regretful that this shooter missed and all of that stuff. We've gone through Bill Maher. I haven't watched this. Before I get there, another thing by Cenk Uygur. Again, I don't always agree with Cenk on pretty much most things, but kudos, credit where credit's due. He says, one more credit to Trump and his fans today, and only today. Trump sticking the hand up and saying, fight, 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 while the crowd chanted, USA, USA, USA was bad ass. And yeah, I mean, anyone's got to admit that. I mean, we can all relate. We're all mortal. The idea that he was defiant against it is amazing. This is another video from Nick Sortor, breaking a new angle of the assassination attempt on President Trump from behind. These videos are terrifying. I haven't seen this. So if it is overly graphic, I do apologize, but I've said multiple times during this stream, do not watch this with your kids.
Happened to our country, probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
He does look very open. It looks like he's so vulnerable. I just can't believe they've allowed this to happen. It's shocking. Oh, look, there's our stream. Give it a share, guys. If you haven't already, give this stream a share. Get it out there. There's over 1,050 of you watching. God bless you all. The media, Carl Benjamin, the media is the enemy of the people, as he talks about CNN saying the Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. Got more analysis on that. All right, I'm going to go back to the top now because I've been retweeting a few things. This is from Michael Franzesi. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. I really like this guy, and he's seen his fair share of violence in his life, but I think he's got some very sobering analysis that I think America needs to hear right now.
People, the more I see this, the more sickening it becomes to me. You know what? It's all you people on the left, you late night talk show hosts, that blabber about Trump, you women on The View, disgusting women on The View that claim that Trump is a danger to democracy. The guy had 4 years in office. Where was he a danger to democracy? You're a bunch of liars and hypocrites. And you know what? You're demonizing this guy to the point to get him killed. You've done everything in the world you could do. Okay? And you want to talk about, democracy? You're the threat to democracy. No one else. You want to get a man killed? A man that's a husband and a father and a grandfather? You want to get a guy killed with your lying vitriol, your terrible, disgusting words? All of you that have done everything to demonize this man, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because it's all of you that caused this. Every single one of you. And I'm not politicizing anything. These are facts. This is the garbage you've been spitting out about this man for years now. And they're all a bunch of lies. Nothing but lies, to the point where you almost got him killed. A centimeter, a millimeter away from getting his brains blown out. And every one of you would have had blood on your hands if in fact that happened. And I want to see the women on The View cackling Monday morning about this. Those disgusting women that have nothing but filth coming out of their mouths. It's just disgusting. All of you politicians should be put on notice with your lying about Trump, being a danger to democracy. All of you that have lied consistently over the years, from Biden on down, every single one of you have caused this to this man. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I really hope and pray that it stops right now. It's got to end now. And President Biden, be a leader for a change and calm this situation down. Do your job. Calm this situation down. You've divided this country enough. We've all had it. Every single one of us. We've had it.
I can't even see it, bro. Sorry, guys, for the commotion. I've just been looking at my Instagram. I can't even see my Instagram stream on my own account, bro. This is what I'm talking about. The amount of you have no idea the amount of censorship. How many viewers can you see on that?
73.
73 on Instagram. So if you haven't noticed on Instagram, when you refresh it and you see if my 30,000 follower profile is live, it disappears. The live pops up and then it hides. And then when you scroll through, you can't find it. This is what we have to put up with in Australia. It's disgusting. I'm just really grateful we have X. So please give it a retweet, give it a share. I've only got 5,000 followers on X. I've got to build it up. Historically, Twitter's been very bad to me. I've had very poor censorship, and I've had more success on the other platforms. But now I'm trying to migrate everything to X and onto Rumble, which is why I've put the links in the descriptions, guys. So please go there. It's shocking. This whole thing is shocking. I'm going to take you guys back to the PowerPoint presentation because I have tons of different news outlets. I wanted to show you the analysis of, if you haven't seen this stuff already, the reactions of what actually happened and what is going on here. I'm going to recap it so you can see exactly what's happened. So going back to it, Donald Trump, yeah, he was giving this speech in Pennsylvania. And out of nowhere, he gets shot. He gets shot. You see this bullet whiz past his face. It clips him in the ear. And the sniper rifle Secret Service don't see it. And this is the video that showed that.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So as you can see, just one more time, as you can see, we see those snipers actually see it and then they react. So I'm going to keep it trained on the snipers here so you can see. This particular one right here.
Take a look at what happened.
Seriously. I mean, the idea that was missed and people were picking up on it later. Trump drops to his knees and to the ground, and he's got blood coming down his face due to being shot in the ear. Again, I'm documenting this so we have this because they censor this crap. They censor it and they say it didn't happen and they say it's disinformation. That's why I'm doing this stream, to go through everything. Drops to his knees, got blood coming down his ear. He looks at the crowd, puts his fist up and says, "Fight, fight, fight." And this is the video of that. I mean, if that doesn't make your blood just, boil and fire you up in terms of what's going on there, I don't know what will. It's astonishing. It's astonishing. And so as he's getting taken off stage there, you can see exactly what's going on. And moving on, there's some phenomenal shots that have come out of this America flag right in the background. I will note that I do believe the New York Times took this photo, but they cropped the American flag out of it, which I don't have here. But if you go to Donald Trump Jr.'s profile, I think he had it, just to show you exactly what they did. So the New York Times does that, but the New York Post, being a more right-leaning group, they kept the flag in, just to show you the subtle BS stuff. Even when a former president has been shot, they're still trying to manipulate the public. It makes me sick. And on top of that, you've got some analysis from Luke Rudowski saying, where the F were these guys? What were they waiting for? And that was the video we watched. This is the perpetrator that's dead. Not much graphic material there, but they were shot there on this corrugated iron roof. If you hadn't seen this analysis, I did read it earlier, but I'm going to go through it again because many of you guys, this stream has just performed way better than I was expecting. So retweet this out. This is an analysis from an actual trained sniper who saw this situation. From a military perspective, he said, "Scoop from a trained sniper." This is from DC Drano. God bless him. Great content he comes up with. That whole thing was an effing failure. The Secret Service got there slow. The SWAT team got there slow. And why the F did they keep him on stage? He should have been off there in 2 seconds, yet they stand him up for what? To give the shooter another shot? Look at the old Reagan assassination attempt. He was out there in 0.2 seconds. Why didn't a drone pick him up? Why didn't another sniper pick him up? That's effing BS. We cover the Boston Marathon effing better than they cover our own effing president. I'm so BS. If anyone says how great a job the Secret Service or SWAT team did, they're full of S. They sucked. They should be ashamed of themselves and all effing fired. I think a lot of people with the military background would agree with that. Again, I'm not a military guy. I have no idea. I look at that and I'm like, well, I've seen it handled better in the past, but that's all I can say. But I think everyone can make up their own mind. I think the fact that the Secret Service didn't get him off the stage straight away and drag him off. You know, you've got one Secret Service agent, she's picking up his hat and they're sort of hugging him on stage. It's like, get him out of there, drag him off there. A moving target is harder to hit than a stationary one. And bullets go through people. Anyway, look, what would I know on this topic? Someone did get shot and someone did die in the background seats there. This from Naomi's site citing that, and you can see a blood-stained steps there on the aluminium seats there in the background. So someone is dead, as well as the shooter, of course. But on top of that, what led to this? And this is what we've been seeing coming up. Pelosi, days before the rally shooting, Trump must be stopped. He cannot be president. Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi warned that Donald Trump's victory in November could spell doom for the nation, insisting he must be stopped just days before a campaign rally where he was injured. On top of that, Laura Loomer making the point, how does someone get in a building unidentified with a rifle and make it to the rooftop? Secret Service needs to be investigated. This reeks of an inside job. The head of Secret Service must resign. This was not an isolated incident. You can't just get into a Trump rally with a rifle and climb on the roof. And it's damn right. She's damn right. And I've got some photos now of the actual event and how this all took place. This is from Billboard. Chris, Trump was shot from 150 yards away from one of the rooftops. How can that possibly be allowed to happen? And as you can see, that's exactly what it is. I like this image because it shows you the corrugated iron roof and how it drifts downwards there. And you can see how over here, the snipers behind Trump from Secret Service wouldn't have been able to see that person get up here. But I guess that's the point, you know. They should have had Secret Service people in all of these actual positions. Because, I mean, how is it that they were even able to get, you know, a shot like that on Trump? I mean, it's nuts. Secret Service should have had people in all of these buildings and completely had a massive perimeter set up around certain these buildings. But there's a ladder that's there that's set up on the side of the building, which I don't believe is usually there from Google Earth images. And this person was able to climb up there, an absolute amateur, and actually get a pot shot on Trump and kill others. I think it's nuts. Again, I've censored this, guys, so you can't see the gore, but this is another photo, which is the Trump assassin, and DC Jono calling on the warriors online to actually find everything we know about this guy. And information has been coming out. I've been very hesitant to bring up a lot of that information, having had stabbings in Sydney and knowing what how wrong these early calls can be. I don't want to misidentify the wrong person. But this is exactly the problem. This is exactly the problem. Someone reacting saying killed that POS. Elon Musk calling out the head of the Secret Service and making the point that she's actually done a disservice to the protection of Donald Trump. And he says, you know, she used to be guarding bags of Cheetos because she used to work for PepsiCo and responsible for directing and implementing security protocols in the company's facilities in North America. You know, so Elon Musk raising questions about whether she's competent. This is unconfirmed, but God bless the Secret Service for actually doing this with his... Actually, this was his own security detail that said this, not Secret Service, I believe. Trump just started wearing a bulletproof vest as advised by a security detail. It saved his life. He took a shot to the chest. Again, this is unconfirmed. We don't know that. And so we'll have to keep an eye out and see what happens here. Now, again, I'm going to have another rant about this lady. Back when Bishop Murray was stabbed, this e-safety commissioner in Australia, a former Twitter employee, tried to censor all evidence online of the actual stabbing of the bishop on everything. Now, Elon Musk basically said, you know, go jump off a roof. This is e-safety commissar. And so she tried taking Trump to, you know, they went to court, essentially, her and Elon Musk. Elon ended up winning in the end. But I warned at the time when this was happening and taking place, and I haven't said this before, but I did actually reach out to the bishop and his team because I do know the bishop before he blew up. Back in 2021, we talked during the pandemic. And I said, you have to put something out, the bishop, because if he doesn't, then his stabbing will be used to censor the world. I mean, we're talking about the interference of an American election here. So if we don't actually put a statement out from the bishop saying, I'm happy for the stabbing of me to be out there, which he did. He actually provided a written testimony affidavit to the Musk legal team, which helped Musk in that case. I think that, it's so important that we don't have foreign democracies dictating what's on social media sites. Whereas all the other platforms, they caved. They interfered in America's, they're happy to interfere in America's democracy. And that's the problem. There are people that are censoring American streams. There are social media sites that are censoring these streams in America. Vital information about what's going on. So under the guise of safety, under the guise of trying to protect the general public from these things that are going on, violence that's going on, it's actually interfering with people getting reliable information online. So give this a retweet. Go join me on X. Go follow me on X. And, Milk Bar TV making the astute point that, the e-safety office, commissar, she really is, this is the sort of stuff she's going after. We're in an election year. We can't be messing with this stuff. Moving on, an interesting point made by this particular account, Soul of Petronius. He said, Barron's heart hardens. And he's alluding to the fact that, Barron is seeing exactly what they're doing to his father. Over the last 8 years, Bannon has grown up knowing nothing but persecution from the left, and it's hardening him. And this particular account making allusions to Caesar, the Roman emperor, interestingly. So he was seated, I do believe, behind Trump when Trump was shot, along with the rest of Trump's team and legal counsel. And now we get into some of the headlines. And this is really what makes me homicidal, because I'm in the alternative media space. Of course this makes me homicidal. This is why I do what I do. CNN, uneffing real from End Wokeness. This is their page when the news actually dropped. It's not the prime piece, it's just on the side. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. No mention of the fact that he was shot and fell. And the idea that he fell not because he was being shot at, he fell, which is what everyone should do when they're being shot at. It makes me sick, and I'm trying not to swear, but I'll let other people swear for me. Patrick Bet-David's organisation, Pbd Podcast, no wonder nobody trusts mainstream media anymore. You've got the CNN title, and then you've got News Today, USA Today, saying, Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president and crowd. This is astonishing. MSNBC, Secret Service, Donald Trump safe after popping sounds heard at rally. The New York Times, Trump rushed off stage after chaos at rally. What a euphemism. The Washington Post, Trump escorted away after loud noises at Pennsylvania rally. The Babylon Bee wasn't far off. Babylon Bee obviously being about parody and satire, trying to keep up with the mainstream media. Clumsy Trump hits head on bullet. And another one, party that called Trump Hitler for 8 years shocked as someone tries to assassinate him. Can you believe this? I mean, seriously. And is it much of a surprise? I mean, this is what the Washington Post printed only in December last year. Yes, it's okay to compare Trump to Hitler. Don't let me stop you. I mean, what did they think comparing him to, Trump would do, Trump to Hitler would do? So this is not just what's going on. I've got some updates for you. The Trump America First legal team actually put a statement saying and alleging that the assassination, that they've submitted an application to the Department of Homeland Security for allegedly denying President Trump additional Secret Service protections. And this is what they wrote. So they addressed this to Washington, D.C., the Department of Homeland Security, and said, here's the background. Early today, Trump was shot, essentially. We've Sean Davis reports that the former and future president's detail has been asking for beefed up security protection and resources for weeks, but has been rebuffed time and time again by Biden's Department of Homeland Security, DHS. Therefore, pursuant to 5 HSC 552, we request all communication between the United States Secret Service and any email address ending in @hq.dhs.gov relating to the protective detail of former President Donald J. Trump. Also, secondly, all records of the custody of Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, senior official performing the duties of deputy secretaries, Christie, and any other official in the DHS front office pertaining to increased security for former President Donald J. Trump. Records of all communication and documents from the Office of Intelligence and Analysis and the DHS front office or United States Secret Service relating to threats against President Trump. The time frame for this request is from the 1st of January this year to the 13th of January 2024, to the last 7 months, essentially. Sean Davis. And they should have been given beefed up security. And I guess this is the problem, guys. This is the problem. The last time we heard about this being a problem, Department of Homeland Security denying Secret Service protection, who was it? Who was it? It was RFK. Last year, I do believe, he was denied Secret Service protection. How is that possible with a guy whose uncle was assassinated, sitting president, John F. Kennedy, and then on top of that, his father as well in his run? I mean, this is absolutely nuts. And to make matters worse, going back even further, Donald Trump has requested extra security, like with January 6th. He requested the National Guard be beefed up with more numbers from people like Nancy Pelosi. Only she could approve that. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. And then January 6th happens, and then they blame Trump. This is why Trump people get so homicidal about the fact that they're being gaslit and they're not listening. Donald Trump has done everything above reproach here, and yet they still demonize him. The media truly is the enemy of the people. Now, that doesn't mean, obviously any violence should be done on them. Absolutely not. But what they are doing is they're stoking an environment where people don't feel like they're being heard. And if you don't have speech, if you don't have a means to democratically exercise your right in a democracy, then what ends up happening is all that's left is violence. And we can't have that, because when that happens, everything breaks down. It's no longer about growth and capitalism and building the economy. It becomes about destruction and stealing and lying and cheating and military dictatorships. That's what happens. We've got to get away from this. This from Valuetainment Media, Patrick Bet-David's outfit. He says half an inch away from possible civil war. And how right is he? How right is he? I mean, I don't think people truly understand the gravity of the situation here. I mean, we almost had a situation where the free world was about to be cast into a complete abyss because of this one shot. If it was 1 inch away into his head, and he died, what would have happened with the Republican side? Who would their nominee have been? Who? The complete democratic process would have completely shut down. Completely. We would have seen a market crash affecting the entire globe. Food prices, fuel prices. Australia may be far away, but this would affect all of us. And on top of that, wars. The wars, if you thought it was bad now, wait until you see what would have happened. Hopefully we'll never see that. China making a move on Taiwan. All the global... North Korea potentially making a move on South Korea. All the global democracies under attack. Again, just absolute bedlam. And this is what happens when we lose the strong man in the room. And if you think I'm just stoking fear here, this isn't just my opinion. What we're seeing right now is ammo websites are crashing all over the internet. This from Declaration of Memes, Liberty Cappy. Ammo.com. is temporarily unavailable, among many other sites. People, they see what's going on. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait any longer to get that extra ammo I was going to. We are this close to absolute annihilation in America. In America, behind every blade of grass is a gun, it is said. And the idea that it would have been thrust into chaos and a complete, just insane what would have happened. Understand this. If there is a strategy here, and again, this is what would have happened. If Trump died from this shot, what really would have happened? Let's play this out. 1, patriots around America would have felt like, that's it. They've censored us. They've taken away my paycheck. They locked us down. They force jabbed many of us. We tried to run and get President Trump elected to stop a lot of this stuff. They denied us the election in 2020 by XYZ reasons. And now we're trying to run again. We're looking like we're winning. The Democrats are scrambling to find who they're going to run. Biden's all over the place. Trump's killing him in the polling. And then Trump gets shot and dies. Imagine that. What would you think is going to happen with the rhetoric? All it takes is one patriot to lose the thread and go do a hit on someone or something in America. Maybe make an attempt on Biden, who knows? Or someone blow up, some important government building with the security agencies, which should never happen. What happens then? The government, the establishment has a blank check to go after every single person that voted for Trump or supports Trump in some way, shape, or form. Game over. Game over. The whole world is in chaos at that point. Martial law declared. They can, forget about the Republicans finding a second candidate to actually try and fight against this thing. Like, who knows who they could pick that everyone could get behind. But then you'd have a situation where you'd have the Republicans completely shut down and the world thrust into chaos. Biden could even win the presidency. He could even appoint a vice president without a democratic means. I mean, he'd have to go in the election with someone. He could go with Kamala again. He just has to survive. As soon as he gets elected, passes away, Kamala becomes the presumptive president. Kamala appoints someone like anyone. It doesn't require a vote. It could literally be Hillary Clinton. It could be, Michelle Obama. It could be, I do believe, there's nothing stopping Obama himself, Barack Obama, being the vice president. I do believe. But, fact check me on that. And that's the situation we have. We could have had that 1 inch. It could have destroyed everything. Anyway. More reactions to this. Elon Musk, extreme incompetence or it was deliberate. Either way, the Secret Service leadership must resign. It's actually crazy. It's actually crazy. Him reacting to Jack Posobiec. How was a sniper with a full rifle kit allowed to bear crawl onto the closest roof to a presidential nominee? Valid points. Valid points. Nigel Farage, mainstream media have spread a narrative of hatred against my friend Donald Trump. I hope they're proud of themselves. Disgusting people. Nigel, being someone who can talk with absolute credibility on this, because, he's been milkshaked a couple of times. He's had a lot of political violence done against him. The idea that the left wants to hurt us is exactly what we're worried about. Politics isn't for the faint-hearted, and you need people to be brave. We've had some less political figures, people like Logan Paul and his brother Jake Paul reacting to this. To survive an assassination attempt by mere millimeters, then stop your security so you can raise your fist in defiance of death is the most badass thing I've ever seen in my life. I hope everyone's okay. Find the shooter. And then his brother said, Jake Paul said, if it isn't apparent enough who God wants to win, when you try and kill God's angels and saviors of the world, it just makes them bigger. Good beats evil every time. Hashtag Trump 2024. Of course, Logan Paul, he actually interviewed Trump not so long ago, and it was actually one of the most candid interviews I've seen of Trump. Strongly recommend viewing. Conor McGregor, MMA fighter, a 78-year-old multiple billionaire. He should be on a yacht on the Med touring golf courses, but he is not. He's in Pennsylvania, spitting out bullets, running for the love of his country. God bless Donald Trump. God bless the United States. This is a funny one. The president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele. Democracy, question mark? I love that because it's like we always give crap to South American countries about them being a banana republic. And here he is, the president of El Salvador, wondering what the hell is going on in America. And it's totally deserved. I mean, the comment is it was well landed. Love that guy. Blair White saying, I don't want to hear you gay people mentioning January 6th ever again. It really does put things into perspective. I mean, put the shoe on the other foot. Imagine if Joe Biden was shot, what the left would be doing. And if the guy was a MAGA-loving Trump guy. Again, we don't know much about this shooter. This week, when I do the next episode of The Arc on Wednesday, Thursday, you'll see a bit more info on this, but this analysis is going to take a long time to go through. A long time. This video from a UFC fighter that came out just as the shooting happened, him encouraging Donald J. Trump about what had happened, and here you go.
Hey, I heard they just tried to whack my boy Trump. I'm glad that man's okay. Long live Trump. Let's go, baby. Trump 2024.
Denver, let's hear it for Evan Elder.
There you go. It was reported, by the way, that Donald Trump might actually make an appearance at the UFC on Saturday night. I do believe that's not going to happen. So it's like 2 a.m. there in America right now. But they're just starting Sunday now in America. Obviously, Australia and the UK, we've been on the Sunday already. So tonight, the US will be actually doing that. He will be appearing at the UFC. And if he does, it's going to be huge. I mean, I don't even know if they're going to be able to actually conduct the fight. It's going to be insane. Anyway, for those that are saying that, who could have seen this happening, check this out from NBC News. The 1st of September 2023, almost a year ago. Tucker seeing this coming a while away. Tucker Carlson stokes conspiracies, claims the US is speeding towards assassination of Trump. The comments presented without evidence have been picked up by other media personalities on the far right, including conspiracy theorist Alex Jones and former Fox News host Dan Bongino. How right was Tucker? This from The Guardian before Steve Bannon was taken into prison for 4 months. In a Guardian interview in June, Steve Bannon, a Trump advisor and former White House chief strategist, spoke of his concerns that the Republican nominee would be assassinated before the election in November. It's my number one fear, Bannon said, speaking before he began a 4-month prison sentence for defying a congressional subpoena. Assassination has to be the top of the list. I believe that the woman that's running the Secret Service part is not doing her job. How the hell did he know that? What sign would prompt Steve Bannon to say that? I think we all want to know. Too bad, he's in prison. This is what America's facing. I mean, it's become a banana republic. And the whole free world is watching in fear and horror. This is like a black swan event on top of a black swan event. A once in 100-year thing going on. This, as part of the left, is stoking the fear. For those in any doubt that they didn't incite this, check this out from David Aronvich. He deleted this, so I'm just preserving it for history. If I was Biden, I'd hurry up and have Trump murdered on the basis that he's a threat to America's security. He obviously deleted that not long after, but this is the disgusting rhetoric we often see from the left. He deleted it the day after, on the 2nd of July. The gunman, if you didn't know, guys, it is confirmed that the gunman's name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. He's 20 years old, and a Pennsylvania man. We're not quite sure exactly. Sorry, what's that?
Hey, you made a video I just sent you in your inbox.
It's not him?
It's not him.
Really? Well, this is from the Australian newspaper. Thanks for sending me that. That's important. This, and guys, this is exactly why we've got to be very careful about how we do this thing. Okay, so which one did you send me?
I'll send it to you next.
I see a meme from you.
There's a couple of memes there.
Okay, okay. Aussies to avoid trusting social media, instead rely on verified mainstream news. This is an example is verified. Donald Trump escorts off stage. Thanks for telling me about this, Rami. I really appreciate that. So which one? Who posted it? Was it Josh Steinman or?
If you just look up his name on the search bar, his video will come up as well.
Right. I think I've actually seen this. So that's not the guy.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, look, because we're still on live, I want to apologize to that guy. Let me see if I can find this video. I did see a video of a guy going around. Geez, the internet is just lighting up.
It's in the dark. He's sitting in a car.
Do you know who posted the video? Like who's shared it?
No, I can't recall.
All right, guys. This is breaking, as you can hear. We don't want to misidentify the wrong person. So I just want to make it absolutely clear who this guy is. It's so funny. I think I saw it before, but I thought it was another guy, a different guy. Because there've been I've seen 5 different names thrown around on this. Astonishing. Everyone's just sharing the attacker. All right, give me a sec. Ramik, if you could just take that off for a second while I search this, because I know the profile to check. Again, guys, you are getting it live and raw and exactly what's going on here. What was that? Sure. Oh, beautiful. Thanks for this. All right, guys. Huge apology to Thomas Matthew Crooks. This is not the guy. Now, again, I reported this via the Australian newspaper and many other papers that have put this out. Now, maybe this guy that is in the photos, I've never shown his photo in this. I've never shown his photo in this, just to be clear. I knew this person was misidentified. I didn't know that guy's name was Thomas Matthew Crooks. So this is a video from him saying this is basically not me. But is there a longer video or?
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
and apparently he's also a registered Republican, that guy.
Right. Again, guys, look, I'm not going to go any more further into actually who the shooter was because, I mean, this is clearly all over the place. And the last thing I want to do is show I have not shown the face of anyone that was the actual perpetrator. I've covered up their face. I've tried to be very careful about this because we're not going to know exactly all the details about who this person is and what they're all about until a little bit. But going back through it, the Australian newspaper has reported this incorrectly. They shouldn't have reported that. I don't know where they got it from. The New York Post has identified Crooks as the gunman. Sources said Crooks was planted on the roof about... That's ridiculous. I mean, the idea that they've done that is ridiculous. And didn't the Secret Service say this guy's name?
Yeah, look, there could be 2 guys who have the same name as well.
I think that's what's happened. Yeah. I mean, if I go to YouTube and I search it up, They don't even have the press conference here. Probably heavily. Anyway, going back to it, guys, just to recount the event. And again, there's 14, for those of you on all the other platforms, there are 1,400 people listening on X, because I'm not being as censored on X as the other platforms. If you're listening on X right now, whack me a follow, tune in. We do these live streams all the time with regards to things, but this is a Sunday stream. I don't usually do Sunday streams. I usually do a show once a week, 2 hours, breaking down the news of the world in the US, the UK and Australia. But this is insane. This is insane what's going on. But if you're on other platforms, click the link in the description. Follow my X. Thank you, everyone that has been donating to keep the lights on. I really appreciate it. You can't just build a war room overnight. You have to be ready to go straight away. And that's why I built this, is for situations like this, for elections and everything. But going back to it, the mainstream media's covering of this, look at how they spin this. Now, again, you can be wrong about details, but look at the spin from news.com. Jim Chalmers, an Australian politician, Chalmers interview interrupted by Trump fall. I mean, this is the sort of stuff that makes me homicidal. I mean, seriously. Donald J. Trump did put a statement out after all this. He said, "I want to thank you, if you guys haven't seen this, the United States Secret Service and all the law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It's incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong, in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet rip through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized what was happening. God bless America." I mean, seriously, the fact that he's alive is the true miracle here. Thank God. And Trump there being defiant as he's taken off stage. Moving on, we've got some hilarious memes that have come out of this, guys. As you know, and as I always say, the internet always wins. You got Trump versus a bullet, and then you've got Biden versus the stairs, just, falling down. Here's another meme of the actual shooter staring down at Trump. And again, look, we have to laugh, because if we don't laugh, we're going to cry. And then Trump just sort of dodging the bullets like it's from the Matrix as well. Memes get Trump elected. They really do. I love this one. It's somewhat spiritual. It's Jesus basically behind Trump, turning Trump just as the bullet had whizzed past him. Just before it whizzed past him, Trump turns. Be under no illusions. That's a miracle. That is an absolute miracle. I mean, the idea that that this happened also with the bishop is also true to an extent. When this guy was stabbing the bishop and he pulled out his knife and went like that, he was gripping the knife so hard that his finger was on the clip, actually. That this like a flip knife. So the first stab hit the bishop in the eye, and then the following stab, I do believe, hit the bishop's cross in the middle. And that led to the blade actually going in onto the guy's fingers. But he kept going because he was sort of in a rage, trying to hit the bishop in the neck and the back. None of those really hit and pierced the skin, because it had actually hit the cross and inflected back on the guy's fingers and was actually cutting his fingers. That's why people thought that the guy's fingers had been cut off by the Syrians. It wasn't. He was cutting himself. It's quite an astonishing thing. The bishop would not be here if that hadn't happened. Similarly, Trump would not be here if that was an inch over and if he hadn't turned. If he was like that, it probably would have gone directly through his head. But who knows? I mean, I guess more will come out as time goes on. If you're listening to the stream and you want to find us elsewhere, you can screenshot that link. It takes you to all of our regular content, whether that's donating to the ARC show or getting in tune with us with regards to content that we're putting out, our content this week. But without further ado, I did want to go back to what's going on X, because there are updates that are coming through live imminently. Where is it? I just want to show you Obama's Obama's statement in this last hour. He's put one statement out, basically. I mean, you don't have to put out more than one, but here we go. He says, there's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Now, that was at 9:44 a.m., about 40 minutes after the shooting. Now, on top of that, we've got Biden putting a statement out. Here we go. And what time was this at? Slightly after. I've been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who are at the rally as we wait further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it. And then you got people leaning into him and saying he should, he incited this violence, essentially. Crazy information. Now, I'm going to go back and show you guys some of the actual, some of the tweets with regards to how this actually panned out. To all of you listening live right now. Here we go. Now, if you haven't seen exactly what happened, this is the initial shot. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry. Again, navigating Twitter. God bless Twitter for actually, and Elon for doing what they did. But, yep, this is the full shooting in context.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Drops to the ground. Secret Service cover him. Everyone in shock and disbelief. I don't know why they dropped the speakers. I don't understand why they did that. But they did anyway. They look back at Trump. I thought Trump was being rushed off stage, but he's still on stage. He's still on stage. Like Reagan was rushed off within 2 seconds. Trump is still there. He's on the ground. Got the SWAT guys on top. You've got, obviously, the snipers had put this guy down, this shooter down. Everyone freaking out. Trump still on stage. I cannot believe he's still. I honestly cannot believe he's still on stage. I think it's nuts. It's lifting him up to his feet. You got the Secret Service. You got the Secret Service lady there covering his torso, and then you've got Trump, defiant, basically says, you know, fight, fight, fight. You can see he's been clipped on the ear. Secret Service lady picks up the hat. And they'll get him off stage, basically. Secret Service putting his hand over Trump's head. Now, look, I'd be very interested to hear, you know, a former Secret Service guy like Dan Bongino break this down and critique it. But I did listen to the press conference from the FBI, and they said, look, we're going to be breaking this down and analyzing it for many, many, many months to come. I don't know why the audience is swearing. I don't know why they're swearing. I'd be very curious to see what they're actually swearing at. I think there were some people swearing at the mainstream media, but anyway, so look, that's the context of what had actually happened. Now, going back to the to some analysis of what people were saying with regards to the event. Got Trump in Defiant there. Got the shooter. That was where the shooter actually was. The shooter just chilling there. All right. All right, if we can just bring the screen back up so people can see this. If you haven't seen this already, guys, this was the shot of the actual Trump there.
And you know, that's a little bit old.
Now look at this sniper.
That shot's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened. And you know, that's a little bit old.
This is the last time.
That shot's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Terrible. Terrible. He's like, crap. He's like, crap, and then he freaks out, and then he shoots the guy. I can't believe they managed to sneak in a shot on this guy. I mean, seriously. Give me a sec, guys. I'm just trying to find as much angles on this as I can for you, especially those in the UK just waking up. That's someone drew a comparison to Reagan. Reagan, when he was shot, he went on to win a 49 state landslide. That was the only state he didn't win. I think it's Minnesota, but I think people are going to kick my ass and say that's Minnesota, because I know that's Michigan. Don't give me crap. I'm Aussie. This is some criticism about the diversity hires. People were wondering about the diversity hires and why is it, they were saying, why is it that we're doing diversity hires for the Secret Service? And I mean, check this out.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030 and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carey to train with agents.
Why? Why? I just can't. I know I covered this before, guys, but why are we doing this? It's actually ridiculous. If you haven't seen this already, Carl Benjamin, he said, it's not both sides, it's one side. They just want you dead. Love Carl, love his work. And this is what libs of TikTok put out.
I just found out about this shit. It just happened. I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew, and he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed! There was a white man attached to that trigger. I know it! We were a centimeter away! Ah!
Terrible.
Just maybe she should be visited by the FBI like the January 6th.
Oh, they would never do that, Rami. They would never do that. This is America, brother. This is America. You know, the idea that this has happened is ridiculous. I mean, in the UK, they I do believe do they arrest or they do like 5,000 door knocks or something on people for their social media posts. And here we've got this person inciting violence. I mean, this is from Measured Nawaz. I love Measured. Measured's a great guy. How did a shooter evade the Secret Service and gain access to a line of sight to shoot at real Donald Trump despite counter snipers also deployed on all roofs? As always, serious breaches of security are unlikely to be an accident. This from Joe Biden. So I have one job, and that's to beat Donald Trump. I am absolutely certain I'm the best person to be able to do that. So we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. One of the more mild things, I would say, compared to what some of these other people are saying. I love what these other guys have been talking about with regards to the situation, but I want to go back. And sorry, guys, I know it's messy with regards to finding everything, but I'm just trying to get you exactly what is going on with regards to the analysis of all of this. This was Andrew. If you guys haven't seen this, this was Andrew Tate's analysis. He's often said that, firstly, they try to take you out with regards to, character assassination, fake rape allegation, especially if it's a dude. The second thing, if you survive that and you're still relevant and whatever, like Tate was, the most Googled guy in the world. Second thing is lawfare. Try to throw you in prison, try to completely discredit you in that sense. And the third thing is if you beat that lawsuit, if you don't go to prison and you don't completely get shut up as a person, try to kill you. And that's true for people like Nigel Farage, Andrew Tate, which is why Andrew Tate's got to have such great security. And now, as we've seen today, a lot of people didn't realize this. Donald Trump. And again, there is a lot of swearing in this, guys, in these videos I'm showing, but just a heads up. But this is from Andrew Tate. God bless him.
I was going viral on the fucking internet telling all of you. I said they try and cancel you. If cancellation fails, they try and put you in jail. And if that fails, they fucking kill you. I was saying this last year. I was saying it after I rejected their fucking money. I rejected their money to sell my soul, and I started saying on every podcast, they're going to hit me with a bullshit case. They're going to try and put me in jail. And when I got out of jail, I said on every podcast, I'm uncomfortable because I know I'm on my last fucking life. Look what they've done to Trump. Look at it. They canceled him. They deleted him from everything. Nobody cared. It didn't work. They tried to put him in jail. That's failed. Now they killed him. You get 3 lives against these people. The second you've been canceled, next is a fucking case. And if you beat that case, they're going to put a bullet in you. It happens every fucking time. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. You better pray for Donald Trump because he is fighting evil. You do not want the people who are against Trump in charge of anything, especially not your fucking life. I don't care what you call yourself, Democrat, Republican, no matter what it is. You need to pray for Donald Trump and pray for him right now. He's the last fucking hope for Western civilization as you know it. I promise you that.
100%. And this is the thing, guys. You know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. That's not why, you know, I'm doing the stream. I'm trying to document what's going on. But this is clearly the cookie cutter approach that we're seeing rolled out around the world. Whether it's Nigel Farage with his numerous lawsuits or Trump and his numerous lawsuits and how they've tried to cancel them from all platforms, or Tate, on a tiny level, again, not pumping my own tires up, I've had that problem too. You know, during COVID's lockdowns, coming after me, trying to throw me in jail for 6 months, them losing that case, them trying to come after me with a number of other different lawsuits as well, trying to shut me up, me not giving in. Me still going on to accrue 220 million views online over the last 3 years. The next thing is eventually they're going to take a bullet out on me, just like what they tried to do with the bishop. This is the problem. And when I say they, I don't mean, like the establishment and this and that. But there reaches a point where they will try to shut you up. People will try to shut you up. And that's the reality of the situation. That's just what I see happening. Now with Trump, I want to be absolutely clear about this. We don't yet see evidence that this is 100% a Secret Service attack or a Secret Service leak or a intelligence agency thing. Let's be sober about this. We can only see what we can see. But as time will go on, time is vindicating and we will see exactly what comes to the surface. The truth always comes to the surface and the truth will set America free. So let's see what happens. The Secret Service needs a top-to-bottom fix. We can't have this diversity, equity, and inclusion crap where they're hiring 30% women. It should be based on competence and merit, not this crap where they just hire, we need this many women, we need 50-50 women and whatever. That's not what we want to see. We need to see some fairness around this. Now, everyone that's listening online, whack us a follow. Give this a reshare. If you're not following on my Instagram, on my X, please do, at Joel Jammal.
And that's a fact.
If you haven't seen this rhetoric ramping up in America, this is the video you have to see, and this is why we archive these things, just like with COVID.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
That's it right there. Pull it up.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Take a look at what happened.
And then there's the shooting, guys. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? What did you actually think? Terrible. That from Cauldron Pool. Lovely guys at Cauldron Pool. Aussie media outlet. Great articles, great writing, good Christians. God bless them. Moving on, guys, I have a number of videos I want to show you. These are new videos which are on the cutting edge of what's going on. Again, guys, give us a follow. There's only... I only got 5,000 followers, and yet somehow, there's 1,500 people listening live. That's because of you guys sharing it. Thank you so much. God bless you all. I really appreciate the love and support. This is a video about an emergency room doctor with blood on his clothes talking about trying to save a man who was shot in the head at the Trump rally. And I think people need to see this to understand how not staged this was.
Honor, that's exactly where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. Oh, and so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got
Was
him
there only
up
one
on the
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person?
I was the only one that did it.
We need to evacuate everybody. Honor, that's exactly where I heard
They
him
get
come
him out
from.
of there.
What did you...
Another video, a man is basically getting angry at the mainstream media. I did see this before. I'm glad this was sent.
You remember what you call. This is your fault.
This is your fault.
This is your fault. Every last one. This is your fault. This is your fault. This is your fault. Your fault. This is your fault.
Yeah, and he's damn right. And this is the thing, guys. Look, doesn't mean that violence is okay. Look, there should never be any violence done against, the mainstream media. You should beat them on the arguments. You should out-meme them, and then you should meme them crying. But, when you win. But this energy in America, again, I'm an Aussie. I'm not from there. But we're all cheering you on. We want you to win this damn election. We want you to come out of this insanity so we can actually get back to building the world again rather than destroying the world and doing a controlled demolition by the establishment World Economic Forum people. Pour your energy not into social media getting angry, but pour it into running a good ground game. Get involved. Start volunteering. Start, signing people up. You need to overwin this election. You need to overwin it because they're going to try and cheat. You know what they're going to do like they did last time. You need to go above and beyond. Now, whether that means you can donate to whoever is in America, whichever campaign you can, super PAC or whatever, whether that means you're getting out there and, fight this for the people that can't fight it. I'm an Aussie. I can't vote in your election. And yet I should suffer online. I should be censored by your big tech corporations. We're all cheering you on. We all need you to come through on this. We really do. And if you truly want the title of the leaders of the free world, you've got to earn it. Not just the president has to earn it. Each and every one of you has got to get behind this guy. This is about the future of your empire, your country, the world. there's a better way to do things than foreign interference in other countries, than taking out your political opponents with lawfare and botched, investigations that we've seen, impeachments. We need a better media. We need more involvement. We need more, inclusion with regards to people getting involved in politics. That starts with you guys. You can do this. I believe in you. This is from President Milei, Argentina's President Javier Milei. He comments on the Trump assassination attempt. He said, the desperation of the international left is not surprising. This coming from another South American leader. Vivek Ramaswamy put this call out. He said, our nation's survival came within centimeters of a bullet's path tonight. The same divine providence that guided our founders protected Donald Trump today. If anything good comes from tonight's tragedy, let it be this. I hope our grandchildren see these images of it and in their history books and remember that this is the moment when our nation turned the page on an ugly chapter. And that is what I really hope the American people take away from this. Treat this like you should have treated COVID. There was a moment there in the early days of COVID when you guys almost came together, even on CNN, being very complimentary of Trump. This is your opportunity to come together and be like, no, you know what? Who the hell are we? What are we doing? Why can't we get back to some sense of civility? This is what Vivek Ramaswamy echoed in his interview on Fox News. This must have been very late at night.
Mind you, I've heard that Trump was going to pick his VP on that speech on the podium. That's what I heard.
Really? Isn't that interesting? All right, there you go, guys. Apparently he was meant to be picking his VP in that speech. Check this out.
Horrifying day for the United States of America. I want your thoughts. When you first heard about this, what went through your mind? What's going through your mind now?
What's going through my mind now, first of all, is we heard the story of that person, an innocent, enthusiastic rally goer who was shot and killed. First, our heart goes out to them and our condolences goes out to that family. But I should say this, Trace, is that I personally believe that God intervened today, not just on behalf of President Trump, but on behalf of our country. If you think about this, 1 centimeter's distance in the path of a bullet was the future of not only Donald Trump's life, but I think the life of the United States of America. Imagine what we would be talking about today were it not for a hair's length difference in the path of a bullet. And I think that that's frightening. And I think that this is a moment for us all to step back. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, voting for Biden, voting for Trump, it doesn't matter. This is a moment where if one positive thing comes out of this otherwise near tragedy, let it be this, that first of all, we saw a president, a commander-in-chief, who in his most vulnerable moment, you saw it unvarnished. He stood up, he took the fire, he took the hit, and still stood up for the people who he stepped up to represent. And I think the other thing we have to take away is that this is unacceptable in the United States of America. This is not who we are. Disagree or not, we settle our differences peacefully through free speech and open debate, not this way. And so if one silver lining comes out of tonight, let it be that. And I hope that we begin the process of healing as a country while avoiding what could have been a national disaster that really, without exaggeration, could spell the end of the United States as we know it had this gone a different direction.
Absolutely. Vivek, it's Martha McCallum here. I'm thinking about President Biden came out and made some comments. He may make more comments. We know they had a phone conversation earlier. He called what happened sick, and he said it's one of the reasons I want to unite this country. We've had a lot of vitriol, and I don't think it's, the politics, there's going to be a lot of politics starting this week, but what do you think the impact is as you look at where the country is right now? And given the fact that the last couple of weeks have been all about concerns that we see in polling over President Biden's ability to serve and his fitness.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll give you a couple of tidbits that I've experienced even in the last few hours. I've had CEOs across the country from different corridors that would have been previously afraid to state their support for Donald Trump, or maybe even personally tepid about it, now coming in and asking, how can I help? I'm all in. These are exactly words of people who have contacted me alone in the last several hours, and I'm sure that's true of people across the country. The reality is I don't want to make this political tonight. This is not the moment for that. I will say that President Biden, who ran on the platform of uniting the country, had an opportunity even tonight to really rise to the occasion in a way that he fell short. I don't say this is criticizing him as a Democrat, but somebody who was rooting for a president to rise to the occasion immediately and not only offer the usual ritual incantation, the ritual condemnation of political violence, yeah, we got that, but a deeper heartfelt sense to say that, you know what, this is a man who I'm running against, but it is wrong that this should happen to anybody, and this is not who we are as Americans. And if I, as a U.S. president, have failed to create this environment in this country, then I will own that because the buck stops with me as the commander-in-chief. I don't think we saw that kind of message come from President Biden tonight. And for all of the discussions about how he came short up after the debate, I do think that even tonight was a moment for a man who ran on the platform of uniting the country to have fallen short in the way that he did. But this is less about criticizing President Biden and more asking the question of how we as Americans are able to say we're moving on. We're turning a page on a chapter of our history where we see our political opponents as our enemies. Let tonight mark the end of that, and if so, something positive, as you could imagine, at least something small positive that came out of this tonight, let it be that.
Vivek, you talk about rising to the occasion. I want to go back to what you were saying earlier there, which was the response of the former president after moments after he had been shot. And he got up and he said, you know, I need my shoes. And then he stopped and he fist pumped a couple of times and he said, fight, fight. And the response was USA, USA, because that's the natural response. At all of his rallies, he talks about fighting. It's been a theme. And the theme is they're coming for you, but I'm in the way. So you got to keep fighting. What do you think about that response and that having the wherewithal to do that?
Well, look, I think those images we saw, our kids and our grandkids are going to be viewing that image in their history books. That was American history tonight and for the better. It was like the images of George Washington crossing the Delaware with the flag in the background. That's what we saw tonight. And it was one of those moments. Our founding fathers, they risked not only their fortunes, but their lives for this country. And I think this is one of those moments where we have a leader who has made a sacrifice. I'm personally grateful now more than ever for the sacrifices that President Trump has made. And I'm grateful that God stepped in tonight to save him for this country.
Interesting. I've got a lot of updates while I was looking on that, guys, which is why this is so free moving. I've been reposting everything so you can see it, so please whack us a follow. If you haven't seen this, Rep. Stephen Woodrow deleted his account after he posted on X, "The last thing America needs is sympathy for the devil." But here we are, and there you go. He's gone and deleted his account, essentially, on Twitter. Also, Mario, who's sending a lot of this stuff on his page. Why did Mario Nafal, by the way, if you want to follow him, why did the media take so long to call this an assassination attempt? The FBI this evening had what we're calling an assassination attempt. Here we go.
Is that the FBI stands with the people about. All right. So my name is Kevin Rojek. That's R-O-J-E-K. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI Pittsburgh field office. The first thing I want to say is that the FBI stands with the people of Butler County in western Pennsylvania, and our hearts go out to the victims of this heinous act which occurred today. This is our community, and I want to let the public know that the FBI has deployed a number of our resources, including investigative agents, our evidence response team, bomb technicians, and we have additional resources coming from other field offices, as well as from FBI headquarters, including our evidence response from Quantico, Virginia. We have intelligence analysts as well, working from our field office in Pittsburgh, working feverishly to attempt to identify the individual who did this and any motives behind why this was done. Right now, we need the public's help. Anyone who was on scene, who saw anything, who identified any information, please report that to the FBI using either the phone number 1-800-CALL-FBI or online at fbi.gov/Butler. This evening we had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump.
What are we calling?
It's still an active crime scene. As I mentioned, we have a number of agents on scene.
You got to be joking.
We also are working closely with other federal agencies, our state partners, and our local police partners as well. Again, at this time, we are not prepared to identify who the shooter is. We are close to that identification, and as soon as we are 100% confident in who that individual is, we will share it with the press. With that being said, also, we do not currently have an identified motive, although our investigators are working tirelessly to attempt to identify what that motive was.
Crazy. There's so much stuff coming in, guys. Every time I play one of these videos, I find even more stuff. So Stephen Crowder went to the actual address of supposedly this guy called Thomas Matthew Crooks, which is interesting because when they rocked up there, there's a police officer there. Now, look, we don't know if this Thomas Matthew Crooks is the same one that a lot of people have been putting images around, but I thought I'd just show you this regardless so that you can see exactly what's going on.
Excuse me. What's going on?
I have no idea.
What? I can't go down the road?
Nope.
Why not?
Because I was told to close it.
What's that?
Because I was told to close it.
Okay. Are you Secret Service?
No, I'm not.
You're not.
I wish you would quit photographing me.
Well, I'm allowed to, sir.
Well, you can move on, too.
I can, but I'm allowed to photograph.
You can get out of the way. I got traffic coming. You can go.
I'll go.
Now.
All right. Have a good one.
Anyway, so look, yeah, again, guys, we don't know. Maybe that's the address of the fake guy that's there, and the guy's just protecting him. We have no idea. We have no idea. But more information will come out as we move along. I've got some more stuff. The President Macron basically saying, my thoughts are with President Trump, the victim of an assassination attempt. I send him my best wishes for a speedy recovery. The spectator has died and several injured in this tragedy. I will point out that it is interesting that Macron, obviously we've covered his election recently. Right now, Marine Le Pen is currently under a lot of lawfare due to what's going on in her country and her obviously being the chief person that could be the president in the future. What comes next? Perhaps assassination attempts on Marine Le Pen of the right. Thought I'd just say that. For those of you that are looking at potentially supporting the victim, the family of the victim that was shot, again, I issue you caution with this. I can't tell you how many times I've seen fundraisers that have not actually gone to the victims of the actual crime that's happened. But without further ado, this is claimed that this is a Trump-authorized fundraiser from Trump's National Finance Director, Meredith O'Rourke. Now, look, anyone could say that. But if you were interested in supporting that is there, and they've already raised $156,000 with $1 million target. Who knows who this person was that was shot? I don't even know if it was a bloke or a chick with kids. And so look, I'll just put that out there. If you didn't know this already, yes, the FBI is the ones that are leading the investigation into this and going off on it. I did listen to the FBI press conference before I started this stream. They are actually they take point on investigations, but when it comes to setting up a protection of a president, the Secret Service take point, and everyone is at their sort of command. And the FBI, they surveil the situation, but they're not there. They only arrive there once the actual attack happens. That seems to be the protocol. So this is clearly a Secret Service stuff-up with regards to what's happened, because they had point on all of this. Nigel Farage has been asked on what's happened with this, and this is what he had to say.
What did you think when you heard the news, first of all?
Well, I was very upset, and I'm still upset. I'm obviously pleased that my friend Donald's got away with it. Only just, but he's got away with it. But one person is dead. 2 more are fighting for their lives in hospital. So it's an absolutely horrendous incident. And yet, somehow, I'm not shocked by it. The narrative that is put out there about Trump by these liberals that oppose him is so nasty, is so unpleasant, that I think it almost encourages this type of behavior.
Are you suggesting that the political environment is to blame for this?
Well, you can always pick out quotes. I mean, it was just a few weeks ago that that Joe Biden said Trump must be put in the bullseye. And, you know, we talked earlier on this program about social media, and that's quite right. There are some things that are said on social media that aren't acceptable. But there is also a mainstream media narrative. And I'm afraid it's very, very one-sided. The BBC is a part of this. It's happening in this country. I mean, I've faced continual attacks for over a decade now. Because it's me, no one cares. In fact, it's even funny, you know. I mean, one of the many times that I had a drink thrown at me, you know, a comedian, so-called comedian on a BBC show says, well, why not battery acid? I mean, I just find the fact that that individual, Joe Brand, is still on BBC programmes, I find that really pretty appalling. We've got Mr. Aronovich, who does programmes on Radio 4, who recently said that the best way for the Democrats to deal with Trump is to have him shot. Now he says now that was a joke. But so I do think mainstream media, I do think liberal intolerance is increasingly a part of this problem.
Crazy. And I will point out that with Nigel Farage, I do believe it was Burger King actually did a tweet that was banned, but by the watchdog. But they did a tweet back in the 2019 European Union elections, I do believe it was, or it was the 2019 UK election, where they actually said, oh, you know, we've got milkshakes going for, you know, this price. Be sure to come and get them. And hang on, here is it? Where is it? Oh, I found it. Dear people of Scotland, we're selling milkshakes all weekend. Have fun. Love, Burger King. And that was, and he said hashtag just saying. And it's just disgusting that this has just sort of become part and parcel of the electoral system and what's happening. I will go back to, I've retweeted a bunch of fresh things now. There's a lot going on in this particular area. A lot of people are reacting. We've got staffer for Congressman Bernie Thompson saying, I don't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking. I mean, this is absolutely nuts. I can't believe they're getting away with this. We've got this meme going around where it says, when Democrats don't get their way, they get dangerous. We've got this from Congressman Dan Goldman saying Trump, has to be eliminated. And this was in 2023, he said this.
But his rhetoric is really getting dangerous, more and more dangerous. And we saw what happened on January 6th when he uses inflammatory rhetoric now, and his recent Truth Social post is incredibly, incredibly scary for anyone that might be trying to work in government. And it is just unquestionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated. But his rhetoric.
Crazy. I mean, this is exactly what they've been stoking. Elon Musk saying, I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his full recovery. He basically did right after, and we know that he's a recent donor of the Trump campaign. We don't know how much, but we know that he's going to be a recent donor of that. And this is from Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of Trump's strongest congressional supporters in the USA, and this is what she had to say.
Talk about Joe Biden. I watched his remarks just before I came on, Grant, and I have to tell you, I'm really disgusted because here's why. Just earlier today on a fundraising phone call, and I'll quote, I want to make sure I get it right. Joe Biden told his donors that it's time to put Trump in a bullseye. Well, guess what? That is exactly what someone did today with their rifle as they attempted to assassinate President Trump. They did exactly what Joe Biden said to his donors on the phone. And let's talk about how this comes on the heels of a weaponized government under Joe Biden and under all the Democrats, because they all support it, a weaponized justice system that is attempting to put President Trump in jail for the rest of his life. And then let's add to the fact that my Democrat colleagues, and I'm going to call them out by name because their names need to be made famous. Benny Thompson, the former chairman of the January 6th committee, just recently introduced legislation to take away President Trump's Secret Service protection. And here's his co-sponsors: Troy Carter, Barbara Lee, Frederica Wilson, Yvette Clarke, Bonnie Watson Coleman, Jasmine Crockett, Joyce Beatty, and Steve Cohen. These are the other Democrats that co-sponsored Benny Thompson's legislation to take away his Secret Service protection. So never forget who these people are. Never forget the Democrats. They literally, along with the media, want Trump dead. And that nearly happened today. And we should never, ever forget it. And we will not let this go.
What was I going to show? There is a lot of analysis that's been taking place.
That guy you have on the screen there.
This guy?
Yeah, he keeps popping up.
Yeah, people saying that he prophesied that this was actually going to happen. Happy to play it. I mean, I don't see why not. But he was basically saying 3 months ago that this was always going to happen.
I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking. People say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And then I saw people interceding when I saw him winning the presidency. I saw Trump rising up.
That's astonishing. Isn't that astonishing?
Yeah,
Now, don't get me wrong. Look, there's thousands of things said, millions, billions of things said on the internet. And obviously, it could have been any body part, but that is amazing. Right ear, whizzed across it, doesn't kill him, and Trump's born again as a result. I mean, if you have a near-death experience like that, surely that has an impact on you, just like, we saw with the bishop. I feel like he's come back with a refreshed sort of like, wow, like he's wiser from the experience, and he's like, well, I guess God still wants me. He's not done with me yet.
That's true.
With that said, some people, when that happens, they go on to do terrible things because they feel like they've got a mandate from God, and then they stop listening to anyone and they believe themselves. But with others, it means that they might have more respect for the position they're in and be a bit more, I don't know, pious. Maybe do the job better. I don't know. But interesting.
Hopefully CNN, would also, come to the right path. I mean, the stuff that MSNBC is putting out there, and CNN, it's almost like they both in competition to
each other.
Yeah.
Shocking. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I was gonna, guys. Again, I'm not expecting to be on live much longer, but I do want to pull up one last thing. I'm trying to find. I will say, if you can share this live stream, it would be really appreciated. If you're listening on, wow, is that what's going on Instagram?
Yeah.
So it says 0 viewers, but there's heaps of viewers.
They dropped us, actually. I don't know if...
They nuked us.
I think so.
All right. Well, this is why we're on X, guys. We've just been nuked off Instagram.
Don't take my word for it.
But look, we know this. We have evidence that they're censoring us in other ways. You need to follow me on X at Joel Jammal. I've got one more thing I want to show you, but before I do go there, please support the stream. Please donate. Doing these streams, especially on a Sunday, doesn't come cheap, but I really want to make sure that we get this information out there, even though Australia's e-safety commissar is doing what she's doing. But this is why I do it, because we can't just build a war room overnight and just, yep, here we go, no worries, emergency happens. We literally prepared a show, ran in, started filming it right when the UK was waking up at 7:30 a.m. And this is what's going on in our country. It's frankly disgusting. I can't believe how the mainstream media has gone about it, and they thought that no one would notice. But I guess this is how the staffers are operating. Now, I did want to see one thing, and it's at the 2:05 mark in this particular analysis. This is a Twitter Spaces that was done.
Literally, if you have
Where is it?
But it looks like it took a
Ronald Reagan, like it is right from mental institution.
Pause. Supposedly. There was some interesting analysis from Sebastian Gorka, which I actually really wanted to hear.
Because these teleprompters are so damn boring, I try and explain that.
At 2:05 is when he's shot. So they're all listening together, watching this, and he gets shot during it, which is nuts.
Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big amount of illegal immigration? Probably.
Wow, this guy was on when it happened. They were on a Twitter Spaces when this happened.
That sounds like something's happening.
It's understatement.
No shit.
Oh my god. Oh, it's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. And then it goes on, and the analysis comes on. So these guys were streaming at that time, and then it went on, and they went on to do all this analysis.
Nothing happened. People would be fired over this.
Anyway, look, a lot of people have been making and doing some analysis on this and saying, "Oh, look, it's exactly what you'd expect. It's, you know, this is a psyop," and I honestly think that we've got to look at what's happening in front of us with this stuff, and yep, we need to understand what's happened previously and how they've tried to demonize. You know, they're like, "Oh, Trump's controlled opposition." I don't think he's control opposition. I think this man is what you see is what you get. I don't think you can fake that reaction by being shot. I think that this man once again has proven himself why he is the guy that is running. It's very candid, and I think it's important we understand that. Now, again, for the person that was shot and killed, I really am sorry to hear that about the for them and their family. I mean, we shouldn't see political violence in the political sphere. It's not what's meant to happen, but it is what it is. We are where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to harp on any longer. I am going to end it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Give this a live a follow. Follow me on Twitter. Donate if you can to support the stream. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. We're finishing up with over 1,500. We've got 1,700 people listening live on X. It's a sad indictment on all the other platforms which are censoring me hard. I've only got 5,000 followers on X. I've only got 5. And I've got 1,700 people listening live right now. On Facebook, I've got 120,000 followers. And I've got a grand total of 100 viewers across it. This is absolutely crap. Absolutely crap. And this is actually fueling the violence. This is fueling the violence. And this is, I just can't believe how misguided they are. I mean, I'm looking at the stream right now on Facebook. There's on the Turning Point Australia page, there are a grand total of 96,000 followers, and right now there's 11 viewers watching concurrently. That is complete BS. Complete BS. And, you know, isn't it funny, you know, I just remembered the fact that Trump threatened Zuckerberg for his Zuckerbox ballots with jail, and then Zuckerberg's like, oh, you know, we'll remove all censorship off your Instagram and your Facebook. It's clearly political. It's clearly political, and this is what they're doing to censor us. But I am surviving because of the good graces of you guys in the audience. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for getting this out there. For those of you that have never met me before, I hope I can continue to get to know you guys better and you can get to know me better. God bless you all. Have a good one. Watch this stream back for the documentation of everything. We've saved this stream and it's archived, so don't worry about it getting nuked off everywhere. And this is history in the making, and this is what you can expect from a US election year. So if you want to support what we're doing, if you want to see what we're all about, you can scan this QR code, you can screenshot this image, and you can actually see all of my social media. Joel Jammal across the platforms. The ARC podcast will be live again this Wednesday or Thursday night, depending on how the news goes. And we do 2 hours every week covering the news in Australia, the UK and the USA and other countries as well. And we'll be breaking down what's going on. But big election stuff coming. Everything we're doing will be live streaming the US election on the election night. God bless you all. Thank you so much. If you like us, we're on Rumble, we're on X, We're on Telegram on those particular places, which are in the link in my bio. And if you want to get a hold of the Light newspaper Australia, if you haven't seen this before, I've shown this many times before. You can find it here, thelightaustralia.com, which is a phenomenal newspaper I'm working with. And if you want to buy a newspaper in Australia in particular, because this is a decently sized newspaper, we're nearing 200,000 purchases of the paper for issue 12. There's barely any left. Doing really well. You can buy 2,000 copies, for example, for as little as $420. 2,000 copies, or just 3 delivered to your place for $7.50. Thank you guys so much. God bless you all. Thank you for this. Give the stream a share. Thank you for the donations, and thank you for your support. I hope you found some value in this. I'll see you guys later.